delaying. Well, it's okay. We'll figure it out. Hold on. It'll be fine. We are live. I am your host, Chris from the CHRILLCAST, and this is the CHRILLCAST Live special edition about, Shin Megami Tensei V. So, got my good friend Spencer here, who's going to tell you all about it, and I'm going to pretend like I know what I'm talking about. No, I'm just kidding. But Spencer, where can people find you?
You can go to YouTube, search, actually, I think I have a URL. Yeah, you go to youtube.com/torchwood4sp. Normally, I don't beg or care about subscribers, but I've given myself a foolish goal. If you want to go to my channel and help me I'm less than 250 people away from 5,000. I thought, what's really on the nose? Getting to 5,000 subscribers before SMT5 comes out. So I'm not sure if that's going to happen, but there's always a chance. Never say never.
Well, look at that. 4.86. You're even closer.
Yeah, I got, thankfully, a couple of bumps over the last couple of days, so I'm very, very, very thankful for that. But I have one last big push. I just did a video today talking all about the SMT5 DLC, which I'm surprised more than 10 people cared about. Yeah, so similarly to this, I'm going to have I don't know how long it's going to be. I'm off Wednesday. And Wednesday is pretty much the last day before it is out everywhere. Like Japan gets it Thursday, we get it Friday. And I thought, what's going to be the best, most destructive thing to my body? Let's just stream all day. So it's going to be this with me basically begging as many people to come on and talk to me about it as humanly possible. And it's basically going to be like a telethon. It's like a telethon to get me to 5K / just to celebrate it, because let's be real, once this is out, I was joking about breaking embargoes before about it's what am I going to ask Atlas for next?
we got some cool people in the chat already. Look, we got Zeron, we got Demi Crow.
We have special guest star in the chat, Casey. Yeah. Chris, are you aware of who Casey is?
I'm going to pretend like yes, but you should tell me anyways.
Casey, you should actually go, if you're able to Casey's Twitter so we can pimp Casey. Casey is the voice of Nahabino himself.
Nice. That's amazing. Okay, this is a clip now for YouTube purposes.
Yes, exactly. The voice of the guy who touched hands with a demon is in here dropping eyeball emojis. So, hi, Casey. Thank you so much for eyeballing us.
I'm not signed in. Hold on. Do you know what the Twitter handle is? So I can just go directly to it.
I'm very disturbed that you think I have people's Twitter handles. So. Oh, you know what? This makes it even easier. Casey actually liked the tweet, so that makes it even better. I don't know if I have ats for him, but yes, it is at CASEYVVA on Twitter.
BVA?
VVA.
BVA. Okay.
Yes.
Let's see if that worked. We did it. Okay, we did it. There you go.
If you didn't believe me before, look at that. No one can get that Twitter banner. That's an exclusive Twitter banner.
There you go. All right. And the check mark. So there you go. That's even better. Second proof. All right. Well, thank you for being here, Casey. Appreciate that. And then let's see here. Killamo and Demi Crow. All the people. If you comment, I will probably shout you out. So just know that. FYI.
Free shout outs.
And I'm leaving the eyeballs up for as long as humanly possible so I don't forget that this person is also here.
It'll just look like Casey's the third chair.
Yeah. You know what? If Casey wanted to join, I would happily share the StreamYard link, but I doubt.
This is why we need the call-in number at the top, so we can have it could be stern of do you want to call in and just heavy breathing into the microphone? You're more than welcome.
Right, exactly. Just no. I don't even know. It might even noise cancel my breaths. I don't know how well this software can catch breaths, but I rarely hear them. So here we go. Spencer, question. For those that are still on the fence, Shin Megami Tensei V, should you buy?
So obviously, yes. I'm just going to say that even if I hadn't played it, but it's one of those funny things of if you're remotely interested in it, it's really funny. It's the more I play it, the more it's yeah, of course. The more I keep playing it, the more I'm this is great. This is great. Really, really excited. The only frustrating part about it has been I don't get to have moments like this where I'm still not allowed to really put a review out or really a long form talk about it, or even just a Q&A or something. So it's just really funny of for me, I'm just a bottled up thing of I just want to talk about this game so bad and I can't in a really open setting. But it's great because if I feel like it'd be a lot more of like easy to be like, hey, don't do that if I'm just talking. But like if we're having a natural conversation and you or the chat are asking me questions, that's so much easier just to be like, oh yeah, talk about that. Oh yeah, talk about that. Like the last time I had something like this is I was bored on Halloween and was playing Demon Souls, and I think all the chat wanted to talk about was SMT5. So poor Demon. well, and how bad I was at Demon Souls, but it was like a good mixture of the two of those.
I didn't realize the game actually leaked, so please don't spoil this if you can. You know, if you can contain yourself.
I saw the strangest thing in our Facebook group. In our Facebook group, someone at least had the decency to be like, SMT5 spoilers in the comments, you've been warned. And then went to like post like actual major story spoilers in the comments as a video. And I was like, why? it's like the last thing I would want to talk about or spoil for people are the stories. But yeah, it's at least like it's not leaked. It's just shipped early in a lot of cases. And I think,
oh yeah, that's true. I heard about that.
The sad thing about that is just because the way the Switch is, it's like if you have someone who wants to rip the ROM files of it and post it
then
online,
they can easily do that. Yeah,
very easy.
And then so I just want to say I must say this. I want to preface this. Halo is doing it completely wrong if the rumor I heard is true versus Shin Megami Tensei V, where like they didn't do it like with, what was it, Nocturne? They did the digital release earlier, or was it Persona 5 Strikers where they gave the digital version early?
It was both actually. It
was both, okay. And they're not doing that with 5, from what I understand, unless you had like advanced copy for review purposes. Yep. So Halo's doing it one step worse. Supposedly, based on the rumor I heard, if you got the Halo Infinite Edition console, which was already scalped to oblivion, you would get the game on the day you get the console. And that's the only way to get it early. That's what I heard, a rumor of.
Isn't that like coming out like in a couple of weeks?
Like, so you get that in November and the game comes out in December.
I see. I don't.
Can you imagine? Like, this is the rumor I've heard. If that is true, that is messed up. Because we already know how bad the games are scalped.
But
the consoles, I mean.
See, so I wouldn't believe that would happen. I could believe they release it early for multiplayer. Because, like, for them, they've had such success with the test flights. It's like, why not just release the multiplayer since it's going to be free to play to everybody? Release the multiplayer.
I heard that the console shipped. Somehow those people are getting the game early.
The only way I could see it is if it came pre-installed. Because, like, that game hypothetically has been cooking a really long time.
Oh, it has. It has. I'm just saying, like, can you imagine, like, all these Halo fanboys, including myself, who were not able to pre-order this, and you got scalpers with it sitting on eBay at $1,000? Do you know how bad that looks if they ship this game early for people on the new Series X Infinite console? That looks so bad.
It's so weird, but that's also a really fixable thing of like, if that is a thing that happened, I think they would just release it early. The only like stipulation there would then be when I would say this would be a really funny move that would probably piss off EA, but would actually be really funny. I think because there's like negative hype for Battlefront at this point, it would be really funny because I think that system is going to ship around the same time, like in 2 weeks or so for Battlefront. It would be very funny.
Battlefront or Battlefield?
Oh God, Battlefront
Star Wars. I was like, wait, what? There's a new Battlefront that I don't know about?
The new Battlefield that like 6 people apparently care about.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if they see how bad the scalping situation is and either they pull the plug on the early release schedule or if that's just a rumor that people are spreading and I'm just reporting on it. But if that is legit, I'm angry because me and Will both tried to jump in and buy the Halo. At the
very least, I have been told the stock situation for the Halo one is it's not as crazy limited as some people might think because like it keeps going back in stock at least every week. Because I actually want that system.
I do too.
Because I think it looks nice and I don't have a Series X. But at the same time, like I keep seeing it in stock and I've been hearing pretty much tell of like, hey, if you go there like on its actual release day, stores will have them. Yeah, like it's like how. If you wanted a Switch OLED or something like that, or like that new Pokemon Switch Lite, if you went
there'll be more OLEDs. That OLED's not like a special edition. That will be continuously sold till the Switch goes out.
Yeah, but it's one of those things of like I think much like the Xbox fridge, like where Target was like, hey, just wait till it's in stores. Like,
right. There's a whole bunch that are coming to stores. With that. Like, okay, so next question. Since the Shin Megami Tensei V, like the special edition with the backpack and everything else was like sold out immediately. Do you think there's any chance Atlas will produce any more of those or do you think we're done deal on that?
So quick clarification, because I was talking to a friend of mine about this. Cam Final Mix he made a tweet. He was like, I can't wait to unironically wear that SMT5 backpack. And I was like, hey, you probably don't know the dimensions on that thing.
Isn't it more like a satchel?
Yeah, not even. It's not even like it's like a Switch fanny pack. It
Okay.
holds the Switch, so it's this big.
So not even the Hori Split Pro will fit, huh?
Here. Yeah, so here's my Switch case. Oh, that's unfortunate. That was not even planned. Oh no. I had that on. Oh man. If there was a good time to clip anything out, it would be me I didn't know blue worked as a green screen.
It does. All
right. Well, we learned something new today, everybody. All right. I was like, I forgot I had that image saved from 9 million years ago, but now that paid off. Everyone in chat, please erase no one saw that. There will be no archive of that at all. But yeah, so with the special edition,
clipped and snipped.
But with the special edition, I heard rumblings that more were getting produced, but what was funny was a lot of that extra stock just all went to Europe because Nintendo had to make the same special edition, the entire same special edition for Europe, Australia, the Middle East, all of that. Pretty much here's Japan, here's America. They had to get the entire middle of the sandwich picked up. That is true. It's more embarrassing that if Casey saw that than it. Oh no, not the eyeballs again.
I had to, Spencer. Anyways, I just went back to the top of the chat because they were still there. But anyways, I'm happy to have you guys here watching Spencer and I just have dialect, but it's fun. I appreciate you all for being here.
But yeah, so I heard rumblings they were trying to get more, but as you know, the shipping and logistics situation this year has been insane, so more are probably not coming. The best chance people have now is if you really want one, at least from an American perspective. I'm not sure about for other countries and stuff. I know Asia is also getting their special edition. That's basically ours. The best chance people kind of have now is look for it around launch, because what's going to happen now is Amazon's going to start charging people, honestly, probably tonight or tomorrow. And when people cancel or aren't able to fulfill those orders, then it will go back in stock, but it's going to be super random and people aren't going to have an idea.
Yeah, see, I still haven't decided. I'm going to wait to see what the goodies look like. And if they're really nice, I'll keep it. If I don't like the goodies, I'll just sell it to one of my friends that wants it. That's where I'm at.
What's funny is even though it's double,
I'm not going to scalp it on eBay, so don't even look for
no. Well, my thing with this, unless the quality of the material ends up being lacking in any aspect, it seems like such a slam dunk for me still. I've seen the Steelbook in person, the Steelbook, of course, is really, really nice, but the other thing with it is as long as the bag quality is good, I think that's a good one. But the 2-disc soundtrack, so here's a spoiler again about the game. The soundtrack's amazing. This is going to be one.
I'm going to download the soundtrack regardless before I sell it to one of my friends if I do. But I'm not going to upcharge my friends. I'm just going to be hey, you missed out. Well, I'll help you out.
But then the other one is going to be that art book. If that art book is actually pretty nice, if it's anything, because we were talking about,
if it's Metroid Dreads,
yeah, that's a quality art book.
I love that art book. So most likely the backpack's going to somebody else. I don't have anywhere to keep it. I don't need it.
Just put it on your child. It'd be take this to school. You'll be the coolest kid in school with that backpack. It's you can take my Halo 3 Master Chief helmet and my SMT5 backpack. Show
up, be the most confused student in the entire school. What do you like, RPGs or shooters, dude? What's it?
I'm both. Let me tell you about my XCOM addiction.
Yeah, it better not be like this.
I mean, that's Fair one point. That also involves art book and very, very much parentheses with that one for sure.
Oh wait, here's a good question for you, Spencer. But I'm going to get into actual questions here in a second. But are there music options in game to change the battle theme?
No, I was really surprised there was actually no music DLC. That was one of the things that when I was they've got to charge for costumes and they've got to charge for music DLC. I will say this because I don't think anyone has really shown this. There is no costumes at all for anything. You are that blue badass the entire game. There's no option to not look like that the entire game, which is actually I can see that being a disappointment to some. Because
You mean we can't wear Demi Fiend's skin in the game? No,
well, like not even that. Like honestly, because Shin Megami Tensei 4, for as limited of the game as it was in terms of 3D models, there was actually a lot of costumes. Like there were funny pre-order bonuses. You could be wearing a GameStop hoodie. You could wear a Best Buy outfit. You could have a jacket made of Amazon boxes. Like they had a bunch of good, like they had cross-dressing outfits. It was really, really funny. And so like because there's no technical equipment in there, like you always just have like your items that are there. Yeah, no Best Buy uniform, sadly. That's like missed in a sense of like cosmetically. I'm sure that'll be fun, but I'm sure like that's such an easy way to save money is just not to have multiple costumes. Like there's already so many things you're collecting with all the demons. But sorry, going back though to the music. No, there's no music selection at all, but there is probably like the most music variety I would say out of like the instant, because like like when you start an RPG, you're like, cool, I'm gonna hear this battle theme for the next 30 hours. Like that's it. That's my song I have to hear. Like there's a good amount of music variety for all the situations and everything you're doing, which is nice.
Yeah, maybe we would have had DLC if Meguro hadn't left.
Yeah, that game where he has like nothing to do with it. They definitely held out for him.
I had to make that joke, right? Persona, they took the heart by getting rid of Meguro. No,
I gotta say, man, like I feel
I'm looking forward to his new project, actually.
Well, that's funny that you mentioned that. I was gonna say I feel like nobody is going to care about his game that are Persona fans. I feel like Persona fans were sad he left, but I bet like none of them were like
incredible composer. Like you can't take that away. Incredible composer, but he has nothing to do with SMT5, right? I mean, essentially nothing.
No. But I'm actually really interested to see because he's only directed a handful of times, and the last time he directed were the PSP games, so it'll be interesting.
Were actually really good.
Yeah, well, yeah, but they were definitely like a different class up of like a remake of a PlayStation 1 game for a handheld compared to
that basically is a PlayStation 1 portable.
Yes, well, and also like to it now of like he's working in a very unstylized, like, and obviously the game's super early right now, like we've seen so little, but the funny thing about it is like that game he's going to make, I hope people at least aren't going into that thinking that's going to be a game with a big budget. Like that's going to be like a $30 to $40 downloadable game, probably. Like that's not going to be like a big retail game. That's going to be like, this is a pet project for him. But like, I'm glad that he decided to go the small and humble route. By the way, here's a good way to tell if a game has a big backing or not. How much they're updating on Twitter. They're showing a ton of this game and they're showing it looking really rough. That means that they don't have a publisher going, hey, don't show us. We need this to look pretty. Like, so they're just being really humble and really honest, which I like appreciate a lot. But it's also, I think it's such a stylistic change from people who probably like his work, and the like fact that it's like it is probably like a mixture of like something in between like a Natural Doctrine or like a Valkyria Chronicles or even like an XCOM of like a strategy shooter isn't really going to bring in a lot of JRPG fans.
No, probably not. That's probably a good point. Just for the record, I am getting ready to follow Casey on Twitter because I totally forgot to do that earlier. So Casey, if you're still here, I'm following you now. Not in a creepy way, obviously.
They're like, yeah, thank God. It was worth it now.
You popped in, you got a new follower on Twitter. Okay, just to confirm this actually happened. Here you go. I'm now following.
They're like, I don't believe it. I don't believe him. It's not happening.
Well, somebody's going to screenshot this saying, hey, Spencer, is SMT5 Persona Without the Heart while I'm on the profile of the voice actor for now.
Oh, no.
What a mistake. What a mistake.
I would not say Persona 5. SMT5 is not Persona Without the Heart. Like I mentioned this a lot in my upcoming episode of the podcast because I actually had Lena, the IGN reviewer, on next week's episode of the podcast. It was really, really good. But one of the funny things I was talking about is like I literally never think about Persona 5 when playing SMT5. They're just so different to me in my brain.
I don't know why anybody would.
Well, like, there's reasons for it, and we get into it when I talk.
I'd be more likely to think about TMSFE.
Well, the thing for this one is also this specific reviewer has, like, their entire Atlas history is P5. P5.
There's a lot of people like that, though.
Well, and also because it is one of those things that when you're in a review, there's like a certain level of like, hey, you don't really know who's reviewing it, but if you want like a quick like snippet of like, hey, here's where I'm coming from, like there's a lot of people like that, and but just I think just the fact that it was IGN was the fact that that's why it blew up. Like, I think if that was on any other website, no one would have memed it. Well, sorry, that or Polygon. Like if that review was on any other website, no one would have dunked on it as hard.
That's probably a fair point. Now, I will say this one more thing in regards to that perspective. I think it makes a lot of sense to have a Persona 5 fan review SMT5 because the main audience on the Switch that's going to be buying this like blind probably wanted Persona 5 on the Switch. So if you're expecting Persona 5 out of SMT5, that's the review you need to read.
Well, I think there's like three in my head. There's three camps who are going to be buying this game day one.
Exactly.
I think there are the hardcore SMT fans.
Yep.
I think there are newcomers to Atlas games, whether it be from Smash Brothers or from...
That doesn't count as an Atlas game.
Well, no. But I'm like saying like how there were Fire Emblem fans that legit started because of Melee. So it's like, hey, this is my introduction to this character because of Joker. So Smash Brothers Ultimate and Persona 5 are definitely going to be a large amount of that fan. But then the other one is going to be, I have a Switch and this is an exclusive. Like this is a holiday big third-party exclusive on the Switch. And like the rest of the year, it's really funny. Like I feel like October was such just like a boom of games that like honestly the rest of the year in terms of big releases right now, especially if you have a Switch, it's this and Pokemon. Like there's nothing else really big that's going to be coming out.
Yeah, I won't be buying Pokemon, so this is it for me.
I would really love for someone to unironically be like, I am not buying SMT because I'm saving up for Pokemon. Like they're because like I look at screenshots for the two and I'm like, these cost the same amount of money, and it is hilariously like bad and different and all. In so many
and the amount of content and like the amount like really, when you look at the dev cycle for a Pokemon game versus the Shin Megami Tensei series, especially moving into the Switch. It's not even comparable, like how much value you would get out of. And I'm not saying this to dog on Pokemon. Pokemon's a legendary series, has been around forever, and so is Shin Megami Tensei, to be fair. But when you're looking at, we lost Spencer. Is he back?
Turning my camera off and on. I'm still here.
Yeah, you like dunked out. I was like, no.
I did I was doing the wrong settings of like, let me turn one off, and it did both. And so no, I'm still here. I heard you.
No, the issue that we ran into last week, I actually left the stream like 20 seconds in after experiencing technical difficulties, and like the guy's like, we're done.
Did you pull a Snoop Dogg? You left it for a whole day and then came back?
No, but that's amazing. Oh man, this is incredible. I'm glad to have Spencer here for tonight. But anyways, this might be it probably won't be. You got yours coming out next week, right? Your podcast. Well, this will be one of the last podcasts before SMT comes out.
Yeah,
with Spencer in it.
What was funny is I was going to actually make the Wednesday like marathon thing the podcast, and then I was like, I don't want to fucking edit 12 hours of stream. I'm like, you know what? Let's do an actual like show people are going to care about. And so that's why I was really, really glad I was able to get something together. So Tuesday will be the last real podcast, but then, the Wednesday RIP my throat the rest of the day and everything will be like the last kind of final send off. Cause I think also once that's kind of like, once it's really out, I think things are going to be really different in terms of like, we're not going to like look at it the same way. Like kind of going back to like, I think the IGN review and a bunch of people memeing on the SMT reviews is going to be really kind of outdated fast. Is like, when is the last time someone talked about a Persona 5 review? Like in terms of a community, reviews are really important and prevalent before the game's out. But like, unless you're someone with like a really, really out there take and very vocal about it, no one's going to be out there. Like, I hope a year from now being like, boy, Persona 5 without the heart on Switch sure is really fun. Like, no, dude, we're just going to be playing the game. Like there will be so many better things to do and spend our time with and talking about than that.
But you know what is going to happen? And this happened to every series I've enjoyed recently. Thankfully, I've owned most of the series that I enjoy. But just like Metroid Dread, if this game kills it right out the gate, you're going to see all the Shin Megami Tensei games prices go like insane on eBay. They're already bad, but they're going to get way worse. Like anybody who owns a 3DS that likes 5 is going to be looking for 4.
Yeah. I thought you meant for the current systems. Like I can't see Nocturne HD getting expensive. I can't see TMS.
I could see a little bump. It could go up to 40.
But like at the same time, it was actually funny because one of the things that come out recently, people were talking about Nocturne sales. Like Nocturne HD, even though its quality was definitely lacking. Goodbye, Zeron. Thank you for coming on. One of the things that I thought was interesting is people being like, "Oh, Nocturne HD actually sold really, really well." There's two caveats with that. Number one, it sold really well in Asia. It sold like absolute dog shit over here in the West. Like nobody in the West bought it for whatever reason. Asian people were really, really like that market was just craving Nocturne nostalgia way more than we ever were, and which is extra funny because they had to pay like $60-$70 for a copy.
Well, to be fair, didn't Nocturne also not sell well in America to begin with?
I mean, it was like back then, Atlas selling 10 copies was good. Thank you. Oh my gosh, it looks so good. Can I show it on the stream? Oh,
Where you get the Spencer Instagram.
Oh
feed?
No, it's
it looks good.
Thank you.
I had some food with rice in it earlier, so you know.
This is a rice-friendly household.
I love rice. It's good stuff.
So the thing about it though, that's.
Can we just pause real quick?
Yeah.
I think I can answer this question. I think it released too late in the year to get Game of the Year nomination. I could be wrong.
Are you talking about the Keeleys?
Well, I'm assuming they're talking about that version, that one. So I think that's too late for it, right?
Nope.
It's
nominable. Yeah. So basically, the Keeleys deadline for the Game Awards Game of the Year, that was I think this week or next week. It has to be.
So it came out right on time.
Oh yeah, it was. Well, as long as people were playing it, they were probably going to nominate it. The question is, will it get nominated? I think this year. It's not a main, like one of the other things that's interesting about the review process is like no one in mainstream press like cares about this. Like, oh, this got farmed out to a lot of people. Like there's not like the SMT people in mainstream, like the people who nominate games for the Game Awards are not SMT fans, sadly. So like it's probably not going to get nominated for that. I think it has a really good chance for RPG of the Year. Especially just because this year's been interesting, but not like swarmed with RPGs. But I think music will be tough because it's like this isn't like you can't just like throw this to someone who just likes music and they'll go like this is great. There are definitely tracks like that for sure, but I think like other ones will probably stand out a little more. Like I really gotta like reflect on things, but like this year's gonna be so weird. Like just to like put you in like my mindset right now for games, I have Guardians of the Galaxy waiting for me. I've played like 3 or 4 chapters.
Is that any good?
Let me put this in perspective. I am as excited to play that as I am when I play SMT5.
So either one's really good or one's really bad. No, I'm just kidding.
It's so funny because like they're so different in so many different ways, but there's a lot of funny little comparisons and stuff I make of like I think there are actually more moments of choice that I like in like there are more like you're making narrative differences in the story with Guardians than SMT5, but that's just been like all Atlas games when it comes to choice have always been that thing of like you're making choices, but like you're getting the same story for 85% of the outcome.
All right, so the question I have then, so we're past Game Awards now. Let's just say somebody's coming in blind from either Tokyo Mirage Sessions or Persona 5 Strikers, because that's the only 2 games on the Switch that are even remotely Atlas related.
Well, and Nocturne.
I'm not including those people because they already know what they're in for. If you bought Nocturne, most likely you already have played Shin Megami Tensei because the sales were so low. It had to be mostly SMT fans.
Who's the people? Yeah, I mean, like the amount of people who are going in newbies for Nocturne HD.
Exactly.
Like, very minuscule.
I just want to say this: if you've only played Strikers or TMS FE, what's the difficulty curve for those people? And then also, do you recommend this game for people that enjoyed Strikers but not TMS FE, and the other way, vice versa?
So I actually would recommend this to anyone who just likes good RPGs. Like this is just.
So if they're a Final Fantasy person, then yeah.
Yeah, if you like Final Fantasy, if you like if you are someone who likes RPGs, I would say jump into this because it's this at its like best so far. And obviously, I'm 40-something hours into the game now. I've not beaten it yet. It could make a total nice nosedive, but I totally doubt it. At the very
fire, like 10 minutes after this podcast is over, you're like, oh no, all these recommendations are garbage.
Yeah, the entire game just becomes a bunch of like Google slideshow presentations of like what was going to happen, and Poochie the dog lifts up out of the screen,
and then all of a sudden the Jack Bros remake hits the screen.
Exactly. So like there will be. I think for fans, there's a lot of interesting because like I'm excited because I already know things that fans will probably be divisive about for this game that no one's actually talked about in really interesting ways. Like one of the ones that's come out during previews that came out a lot was I went 10 hours of playing this game and didn't get to a single dungeon.
Oh, wow. That's a long time.
Yeah, but this game has actually a really, really great pacing. Like, you are in the world as Nahabino within like 30 minutes at most.
So you're into to somebody say Jack Bros. Yes, Demi Crow. Somebody said Jack Bros. That was me. All right. When you beat the game on the insanity difficulty, Atlas has already told me in leaked rumors that they're going to add Jack Bros as an option in the menu. No, I'm just kidding. Total joke. But anyways,
or is it?
Or is
so yeah, in terms of difficulty, I think that's a really interesting thing. So I'd recommend it to anybody, but there are definitely caveats, and I kind of wish the game's difficulty had a little bit of a better descriptor. So let's just assume in this situation you have the day one DLC for safety mode installed. It's free DLC, whatever. So you have safety, casual, normal, and hard. Let's break this down into actual English. Hard, really hard. Normal is for, like, think veteran on like a shooter or something. Like, it's not meant for someone who's new to the series, or especially if you've never played an RPG before. Like, it's gonna kill you. Like, I was playing on normal and died within the first hour. Like, if you mess around, like, it will spank you for sure.
Oh, can I stop you right there real quick? As far as death goes in this game, because SMT4 threw me for a loop after going into that, after playing like 4 Persona games in a row, where there was like significant penalties for dying in SMT4. Does this punish you for dying in SMT5, or is it not so bad?
It's tough because you can definitely be punished, but the thing is, just save all the time. As long as you're at your save points and you save all the time, and they are actually they're more generous with checkpoints than I would have assumed it would have been, which is nice.
Okay.
But like, there are definitely times where you think you're on a roll. You may have forgotten to save for a while. You get to a, like, maybe a boss, maybe like a mid boss or a side quest. One shot, you're gone. Like, what's funny though is, like, this game essentially, like, the way it plays with like your like power fantasy of, like, I had a boss last night. I got one-shotted. First round, one-shotted. I didn't even change my build. I just knew a little bit more going into it the next time. I beat him on my second try. So it's one of those things that it's definitely tough, but fair. Like, it's the Red Foreman of JRPGs, I would say, for all you That 70s Show people out there.
So it's giving you the smackdown. Okay, so you're on normal. So normal's not for casuals, not for
normal should not be called normal. Normal should be like, I'm returning to the series or something like that. Like, this is for you're coming back. This is not your first SMT rodeo. Casual is normal. Casual is definitely normal. And the way it works, at least, is for the most part, it's all depending on how much damage is dealt to you as the character. So let's say on normal, a normal weakness might take out 80 to 100 % of your health or something. Well, not 80 to 100. Like, let's say if attack does 50 on normal, it's going to do like 30 on casual. So, like, it's not making the game easier. You're not leveling up quicker. It just means it's less punishing in terms of instant death with failure. And then safety, it's not available yet because it's a downloadable thing. So even though it's on the cart, you have to download it. But I assume and hope
wait, hold on. It's on the cart, but you have to download it?
All the DLC is done and on the cart. You just have to download the like 100.
That makes me so angry.
That's that's every Atlas game, and no one.
I know, but
like,
still.
Like, another like fun thing I always like talk about for people. Like, I was when I was talking to some more of the people who were working on the game, I pretty much had confirmed my theory was right back in over the summer. This game has been done since June. Like, this game has been, no one has touched this game's code in Japan in a very long time. But
that's, like, actually a better position to be in, though. Like,
oh yeah, like, and so while day one DLC may rub you the wrong way, there's no plans for a day one patch. This game is 1.0, and unless it's a total dumpster fire for whatever reason when everyone else touches it, like, this game's probably not going to get patched ever.
Okay, good to know. I like games like that. I'm sure you're on the same page because you were a fellow Vita owner who bought limited run games. So you want games that don't require patches for the permanent existence of them.
Oh, also, like Demi Crow says, if you are someone who's like, hey, I at least want to try normal, you can always switch back and forth as long as you're not on hard. You can't go back to up to hard if you switch, but it at least lets you mess around and kind of be like, okay, this is maybe a little too easy on casual, let's go back to normal, and vice versa. So thankfully, the game has no penalty. There's nothing you're missing out on by playing on any of the modes. So it's really, really friendly in that sense.
That's one thing I've always appreciated about Atlas is no matter what difficulty you're playing on, you'll still get the full story. You'll still get the full game. It's not locking you out of content. Whereas like with like a shooter like Halo, if you don't play on Legendary, you're missing entire cutscenes.
Really? I didn't know that about Halo. Like what? Like are they like post-credit scenes, or like how does that work?
Usually it's the ending. The ending is usually like the best ending. Sometimes it's like an Easter egg hilarious thing. But other times it's like they lock you out of like the full ending of the cutscene. You miss out on really cool parts. Like in Halo CE, it was a total meme. If you beat it on Legendary on Halo CE, you get a cutscene of Sergeant Johnson and an elite saying "Hug me, brother," as the ring explodes. And that's actually canon. Like they made that canon and made a way that Sergeant Johnson escapes the ring. But
so they made a Drake and Josh reference canon.
Exactly. Yeah, they're like fighting, and all of a sudden they notice the ring's about to explode, and they go, "Hug me, brother!" And then the elite and this Sergeant Johnson give a big hug, and then apparently that is actually canon, and Sergeant Johnson escapes the ring. They did that. They actively made that canon later and explained it. Somehow, I can't. My head does not put that together, but that's what they claim. All right, but yeah, I like that Atlas games. They never lock anybody out, no matter what difficulty rating you're playing on. Atlas has never, in the experiences I have had, locked me out of content for playing on a lower tier difficulty because I never play on hard because it just feels like a grind fest for me, and I want to get the story.
Yeah, and like there's a definite.
I always play normal. I won't play easy or casual.
There's definitely like a success, and like there are moments of like it can feel fun, but at the point where I'm at, especially juggling like a full-time job, trying to do a podcast and playing this game before it's out for a review, it's like I just want to beat the game. I'm taking my time. Thankfully, I got it early enough that I'm not rushing through anything. I'm doing all the side quests. There's tons of extra content. Like I'm not skipping over anything. I'm doing all the collectibles, which I would never have thought of. But at the same time, it's also like I'm going to get nothing out of my review playing it on hard outside of checking it out just for comparison's sake.
Now, the way that I look at this from a perspective of challenge, I don't feel like the challenge is – I feel like a lot of it is grind. Like if you really enjoy the RPG grind and you're willing to suffer through hard mode, because it is sometimes a very big slog in the SMT games. I've learned this the hard way by picking hard the first time I played Nocturne, and it taking me like forever to get through the first part of it and realizing, nope, this ain't for me on the PS2.
Oh, I got a question for you, though, because I've had some people asking me this, and I'm actually surprised at what happened for me. Have you thought of what you want to make your Nahabino like in terms of their build? So Nocturne, very famously, it's so easy to do physical. It's like, if you're a first-time Nocturne player, just always do physical because it's so overpowered. But like,
I never pick physical in any game I ever play.
Like, yeah, if you ever want to make like if you can auto battle in Nocturne. If you get to a certain point, you can just be like, okay, punch.
I have never in any game I've ever played picked a physical build. Like even in games like Knights of the Old Republic, I'll make a force-based Jedi, or like in Mass Effect, I pick the biotics characters. I never ever pick physical combat unless it's the only option because I'm weird. So like for Pokemon, I would build entirely psychic. I would pick entirely psychic teams on Pokemon. Entirely psychic. As those are like my whole battle plan in Pokemon games was just all psychic characters, all psychic Pokemon.
So with 5, then, have you thought about what you want to? Because your Nahabino starts with Thunder, but you can literally make him and your entire party anything you want in terms of like alignments.
I'm gonna go full on Pyro, my friend.
So like this is like the funny thing as well is I don't think I've ever had a game. Like, because you know how, well, every game's different with it. Like, you start with, like, 4 skill slots, like 4 or 5 or something, and you can unlock more skill slots as you level up or have different things happen to you. Of, like, in my moment of, like, oh, my God, I want that last skill slot so bad just because I'm constantly building my character's skill slots, but with the idea of, okay, but save this because if you have 8, like, when I know I have 8, it's one thing, but, like, when you know there's a slot missing, you don't want to, like, sacrifice another magic, like maybe a certain magic skill. Like, okay, maybe I want holy, but should I do this healing spell or should I wait until I have 8 slots and then give that my healing one? So it's definitely a fun like micromanage of when you don't have all of your slots open, because the way you level up your slots is actually different. There are ways that you level up. Like, they've actually done an interesting thing. It's very separate, the way you level up and the way your demons level up. You all get XP and that feeds into each other, but there are a lot of things that might make you easier to level up demons than it is to level up yourself. Like there are items specifically for this will increase your demon's health. This will increase your health. They're not all the shared same thing.
So I guess the next question for you, Spencer, because you and me are both what I would describe as trophy whores on PlayStation. How does it make you feel that you will get absolutely nothing from your PSN or Xbox achievements on this game?
I'm so happy. I've told my wife this. I'm like, I would hate it if this game had trophies. Like, I want no achievements in this game. Like, just in terms of like, because I'm reviewing it, I don't want to feel like I'm missing out on anything. Like, if I find out, oh, dude, you didn't do that one quest in the desert, I would be like, oh, dude, and there's a trophy for it. But like, if it's like, I'll get it next time. It's cool. It doesn't matter. Like, the fact that it doesn't have achievements actually makes me play a little bit differently, which is nice. Like, a good example is like playing through something with a short campaign, but a lot of missable trophies will like set off like a weird thing in my brain of like, oh, you should look at the list, make sure you're not missing anything. Whereas like playing a long RPG where there are like, hey, if you miss this, you got to just start over and never play through, dude. Like Nocturne HD has a lot of trophies like that. Like platinuming Nocturne HD made me very excited to not have to unlock achievements in SMT.
Did you actually get the platinum yet?
No, I think I got that within like a month of playing or something. I grinded it out until I got it. It was not fun. That is not a fun platinum.
Do you have the Persona 4 Golden platinum?
That I don't have. That one I really want to get, but that's another one that's like it's gonna make me not like the game if I marathon it. So it's like that's like
where I'm at.
I'll put it in my back pocket for if I'm ever.
I think I'm on playthrough 4. I want to say of that one, and right now I'm going for the essentially the librarian. I already got the Legend of Inaba because that one was just insane, and I decided I was going to do that one, but. That was literally the worst playthrough of my life because 2 days before the end of the game, I had one social link left, and I had to make it work in 2 days.
So I have a very off-topic question that I would like to ask you because you reminded me of something for it, and I was looking at it over the last couple of days. As an Xbox fan, how do you feel about their new box art change? Have you know, like it's now,
for the Series X?
Yeah, they changed it with Flight Sim. Forza Horizon just got it, and Halo is going to be the next big one. So the spines, thankfully, are the same. So if you have like, thankfully, they didn't do that thing that PS3 did. Remember when PS3 dropped the Spider-Man font?
I hate that. I still hate that. I'm still angry.
So
I will never not be angry about the Spider-Man font change.
They kept the fonts on the side and everything. But it's just a full art insert. So there's not that little green Xbox or Xbox One part as the case. So it's basically just a new case design, and they made it a little bit more minimalistic. Yeah, that's a new case design. Oh,
I hadn't seen that yet, actually. Although I should have seen it on my Halo. I just pre-ordered the Halo Steelbook.
The only situation that's been out yet so far, like I said, was Forza just came out and Flight Simulator, but Flight Simulator did not get a large retail release.
No, but it did exist, I think, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it did. I've seen it in stores. Yeah, Halo is the next one that's going to have it. So far, Microsoft isn't mandating everyone do it, but I actually think they should because like it is such a confusing ecosystem to be a Xbox collector. Like, if you want to do this right now, go just type this in, Call of Duty Vanguard, Xbox GameStop.
Oh, no, this is going to be bad. Oh, you're just totally opening up the wound with Xbox box art, aren't you?
Well, because the thing about this is, like, you literally can't tell that they're two different SKUs. And this is one of those specific ones of because Activision charges more for next gen.
Yes,
$70 on Series X.
Well, let's be honest though. Sony paved the way for that for them because they said games would be $70.
No. That's totally fine. But Sony has a very distinct box. You see the white, and you know it's that.
I don't like the PS5 box art at all.
So if you go to the GameStop one though, it's really funny because the way the box looks, it's actually kind of deceiving for what it is. So if you go to the Xbox One version of Vanguard on GameStop,
let's see. Doesn't it say Xbox Series X compatible?
It doesn't say compatible. There you go, right there. It will just say Xbox Series X. It says Xbox One and Xbox Series X, which means it plays in backwards compatible, but it's not actually the Series X version. You need to pay the $70 one that has the Series X version. Like, how would you know?
Wait, hold on. Look at this. This is so messed up.
Yeah, how would you?
It's just one. It's one for so whatever one's first is the one that it's technically made for. Because it says Xbox One on here, so it will work on the Xbox One.
Yes, it's the cross-gen one. So they technically both work on both, but only one comes with the Series X version.
Oh, jeez. That's ridiculous. Like, oh, Xbox, you messed this one up.
To be fair, that's more of a, like, the box branding on top of people charging for different SKUs and using the same box. Like, that whole thing is so confusing.
Well, I think with Halo Infinite, they did it right. You get both versions. I think it just downloads the title update.
No, yeah, most games are like that. Yeah, Forza does that. Like every other game does that.
All of Microsoft's first parties do that.
Ooh, I got a fun question. I was asking my boss this. My boss who works at GameStop. Shout out to Greg, who, if he ever listens to this, he'll be very amazed. When do you think they're dropping Xbox One games? I'm thinking after 2022, dropping it like a dead hammer. Like, it has got to be such a
no, I don't think they will. They might drop making new ones. Is that what you're saying?
No, that's what I mean. I mean, they will not make Xbox. Because like I was looking recently at like Guardians running on PS4 and Xbox One, and it's like, bro, like we're getting to Wii versions of like differences and comparisons. Like, it's really rough.
No, I think Xbox won't drop Xbox One. I think what they'll do is they'll take the Switch route and it'll be cloud gaming for new games.
No, that's true, but I'm meaning native Xbox One ports. I think will stop after next year, like 2020. That's
probably true. You're probably right. I'm not going to take that one away from you. I think you're right about that because the Xbox One is holding back a lot of what you get. I think games like Halo Infinite will still get content drops for the Xbox One because it's already designed for it.
Also, I just thought of this. Do we have any other Halo games? Sorry, do we have any other first-party Microsoft games after Halo that are coming to Xbox One? I think everything else is just Series X. Redfall is Series X. Fable is Series X. The next Forza is only Series X.
I don't know. It's a good question. I know that they are supposedly dropping one more SKU for the MCC, where it's like the MCC Complete Edition with all of the DLC on the disc. I know that's already coming out in a specific region. Yeah, I think a region in Europe is getting it right now, but supposedly it'll be across the board. Because MCC...
what's that got to be, like 200 gigs? Like, what is
the
file?
It's like 120 or something. It's not as high as you think it is. But the big difference is the original MCC launched broken. It's like, of course, you want to make good with your fans. Like, people want these.
Half of that's going to be fun for physical collectors, but I would love... Like, I want to see take a normal Xbox, put in that day one disc of Master Chief Collection, and I want to see how big that patch is. I really want to see how big that. Like, hey,
I did that this year. It was like a good like 80 gigs, and it replaced half of the original files. Because a lot of people don't know this, and I hope they don't do this with other games. But essentially, the main menu of MCC is in Unreal Engine 4. Which is not like the norm. Like, all of the menus were written originally native to each edition of the game, but now because they've rewritten all the menus, they basically erased all of the like legacy menus. They still exist somewhere in the game code for the most part, unless they've removed them specifically. I think CE Anniversary lost its actual native, and each build they keep removing things, so who knows? But the Unreal Engine 4 menu is actually essentially a launcher that launches the original games in the version that they have for MCC. So it has Unreal Engine 4 with Halo, but don't get fooled. It's not actually Unreal Engine 4 that plays the games. It's just a launcher in Unreal Engine 4.
Unreal Engine 4 makes Halo and also makes SMT 5.
Yeah, well, it makes the menu in Halo, but yes, you're halfway there. I'm not trying to compare this game to Halo because it's not. I just think it's funny how I
remember, Chris, this will be your Halo superfan moment. What engine is Halo Infinite developed on?
Slipspace. And
wow,
and it was originally the Blam, I believe.
That Blam, I don't know. You lost me at Blam.
Pretty sure Blam was the original. Well, Blam is the original iteration of what Slipspace is.
Okay.
Now, Unreal Engine 4 did surprise me because I know the Switch has a hard time running it. But have you had any issues with SMT 5 running in Unreal Engine 4 on the Switch?
I feel like I'm in the minority of, like, reviews didn't dog on performance. Like, a lot of reviews pretty much said it's okay performance, but it like dips. I don't think people are like going into performance with SMT5 with like a lot of clarity with like, hey guys, this is only on the Switch. This isn't like it's a Switch port. Like this is the game. So like I keep touting the horn of like I think this is
proof of concept that Unreal Engine 4 can be used on the Switch.
No, this is definitely an outlier. This is definitely like, hey, I'm not saying people should do this, but I think because they got money from Epic to make this on Switch with Unreal, so it was like, hey, they got money for it. They did the best they could.
They probably dumbed down the engine quite a bit to make it work well.
Yeah, well, and what was happening? Well, I think it wasn't dumbed down. I'll break into it because there's a lot of different aspects of it technically. Like, oh my god, I know they're not ever going to do this because they're so busy. I would pay so much money if Digital Foundry did a video on SMT5. Like, it's technically a really impressive game, but nobody cares about it technically as much as I do. So, basically, what it did is it has two very interesting things. It has an uncapped frame rate at all times.
Okay.
Its lowest I've seen it is like maybe 22-ish frames. Like it's in the low 20s at its absolute worst. But when you're running around the open world segments and stuff, like it's pretty solid. And there's a lot of platforming. And the fact that it stays as solid as it does, I think is a real testament. And the other thing with it that's funny is it has a dynamic resolution. And its dynamic resolution is actually the same when I'm playing it on Switch as it is on like my TV. And I'm surprised how good it looks on the TV at that resolution. But it does a lot of interesting things in terms of playing around the engines to make it less technically demanding. The way it dithers the shadows, the way it makes the like textures look like when you're looking at a demon from far away, it's literally a GIF. It's literally like a 2-frame animation of it moving, like in the background. Like, so the closer you get to it, the more animation frames they give it for. But like, there are moments where it looks like you're looking at pixels walking around.
I just got trolled by /official Atlas West from 10 months ago, Googling SMT5 on Unreal Engine 4. And they said, this is SMT4 running on Unreal Engine 4. This is what SMT5 will look like. And it's just SMT4 with these sneakers.
The Among Us sneakers, the Among Us drip.
This is literally by /official Atlas West.
So, to be fair, there's actually not Atlas's official Reddit is Atlas Prime. So
I believe you, but somebody has /official Atlas West, and they trolled me with this.
They got you. So Ninjutsu brings up a good comment. Are there lots of shimmering in the game? So there is shimmering, but it's actually incorporated into the art style. Like the way that the art style is so cel-shaded and so interesting. Like it's a lot of colors. It's a very bright game considering how much of it's in the desert. But yeah, like technically it is so crazy and so ambitious for everything it's really doing. In the way, because a lot of Unreal games, when you look at it, are like, that's a good port. Like, that's a good attempt at it. Like, this is a good thing going for it. Like, even like what Red says of how Warframe is one of the best looking Switch games. Like, that's one of the best looking Switch games in Unreal for a port of what it's doing. Like, no one's saying Dragon Quest XI looks bad. But when you look at Dragon Quest XI on Switch compared to PC and PS4, it is noticeably better. So the thing I wanted to say, what was funny is, the thing that's really funny is the fact that the game, legitimately to me, is the best looking handheld game this year, bar none. Like it is better looking than even something like a Metroid Dread. Like it is out Nintendoing on the Switch. Like it is the most impressive technically I've seen Switch game in a very long time without any actual like hindrances to the gameplay. A couple of questions answered. Does the game run well in docked and handheld? Exact same performance. There's no frame drops on handheld that you don't see on TV.
But does it run in the higher resolution?
It's higher, I'm sure, but because it's so dynamic and it changes so often, like it's hard to get an exact pixel count, especially without me having any like software to really pinpoint it. But like
we're not Digital Foundry.
No, we're not. But like at the worst for it, like I'm sure it gets pretty low, but because of its art style, it gets away with a lot. The most aggressive stuff you're really going to see in terms of being negative, and you've seen this in trailers, like it's in the trailers, like they're not trying to hide it from you. There's a lot of pop-in when you're loading a new model in. Like when you load a new model in or you go to a new area, like if you load up a fresh save, there's going to be like a boop, 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 and then it's there. Like you remember when you would play Borderlands on 360 or PS3, you'd load into an area and you're like, hold on. Okay, now it's here.
No, the best example of pop-in that didn't actually bother me was when they launched Dead Rising on the Xbox 360 originally, and you would walk and all of a sudden the zombies would be like the last kind of zombies and then like the next line would load, and then the next line would load, and so like as you're walking through Dead Rising, these zombies would pop in in the back, and you
Chris,
could literally watch it happening.
I was so disappointed when you showed your Dead Rising collection that you don't own this. Oh, here we go again. Blue, doing the PS4, the PS4 version, because it's the only PlayStation version they ever released for the first one, because it never got a PS3 release.
You're right. You know what else never got a PS3 release or a next gen release?
3.
Dead Rising Case Zero or Dead Rising Case West. You have to get it. You have to get it on the 360, and then it imports ahead to the Xbox One on backwards compatibility and the Series X, so you can play it. But it's got the same issue Left 4 Dead has, where you can't buy it on current gen consoles. You have to buy it on last gen and then import it to the new consoles.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, like there are some games that you can only buy on the 360 that are backwards compatible, but only if you already own them from the 360.
And there was no disc for either of those. So
no.
Yeah. Oh,
I think there was a complete collection, I think, released in either like South America or Europe that had it on disc.
No way. I'm gonna look
I'm pretty sure about that. And I know that PS3 was the only one where you could buy Dead Rising 2, both versions, I think, on a single disc. I think that exists.
I will also say this. This is a weird, dumb one of a complaint of like not a great game. I thought it was so weird they re-released Dead Rising 1 and 2 physically, along with Dead Rising 2, whatever Frank West edition. I always forget what that one's called.
No, they didn't re-release that one. That was digital only.
I was gonna say they did it. They re-released it on PS4 and Xbox One, digital only. Like for whatever, like you were going to re-release all these games.
I think it was the lowest selling of the bunch.
Oh, 100%. Like honestly, like Dead Rising actually 1 and 2 coming to next gen, current gen, like did absolutely because like when like it was kind of similar to what was it when. Oh my gosh, I'm totally blanking on it. When they did Onimusha. Onimusha 1 got remastered, and like nobody cared.
Hey, I am planning to pick up Dead Rising on the PS4. The problem is, if I go buy the Dead Rising games, I have to get a bigger SSD in my PS4.
Oh, okay.
I ran out of space, and like I already own that game on multiple platforms. Like I don't feel like I need to own it again because it is on PC as well.
And I mean, you at least have the Xbox One version. I will say one of the things I do miss about the copies, I always am sad that they don't have the little disclaimer that it is not related to Frank Miller's Dawn of the Dead. Like every time I see that, I love that it had to be on the box.
Yeah, I am planning in the future to do a Dead Rising podcast, Spencer. So I will happily invite you to join me. And I believe it's pronounced either Stip Zero or Stipo. He's like the biggest Dead Rising YouTuber out there that I know of.
Do you have a thought on the? Oh, and now will this be a podcast like a one-off or a continual podcast?
It'll be a one-off. It'll be in like January or February.
At the very least, I'm going to suggest you should call it the Talk Till You Drop.
Either that. Well, let me rephrase that. It could be in November. I'm still waiting on a confirmation, but if not, it'll be January or February.
Yeah, Dead Rising is such a weird series, especially because I got into it. It was the only physical game I bought on Xbox One launch day. I was like, well, it's this and Killer Instinct, and Killer Instinct is digital, so let's go play Dead Rising 3. And I will say, it is a shame that never got off Xbox One. That's a really solid game. Actually.
It's not even on PC, I don't think.
Oh, I'm sure it's on PC.
I don't think it. That'd be the only port if it is. I know that Dead Rising 4 is on.
Dead Rising 3 Apocalypse Edition.
Okay, it did eventually hit PC. I think it was like literally console exclusive for a while.
It's still console exclusive.
No. I think it was like only on the Xbox One on launch. I don't think it ever made it to the PC until later.
Yeah. PC released a year and a half later when they had all the DLC for Apocalypse Edition.
Right. So that's my next question for you. You know how the Persona series always gets a re-release later? Almost every game gets a better, bigger edition.
SMT 5 will 100% be re-released soon.
You think so? Because it hasn't really happened with the other games. Like Apocalypse isn't even SMT 4.
So there's multiple factors that go into this. Going back to the Epic deal, literally Epic paid Atlas Japan money to make this on their engine, and there is nothing that they would love more for once the year-long contract, because there's a contract right now for Nintendo has 1 year exclusivity on the title. Mm-hmm. Nintendo paid money to make that a Switch exclusive for at least a year. 100% what's going to happen is Atlas is going to then get another deal by Epic Games. They're going to say, hey, we'll pay you even more money now to use this exclusive on our engine game on our store. And it'll be a PC exclusive for probably some time. I would say I don't know if consoles would come at the same time as PC, but I know that they are not in any hurry just because they were so focused on this being on the Switch and getting it to run. But at the same way, like I said, the way the game is designed, because it is on Unreal, porting it is going to be so easy because all of those textures and everything's running uncompromised, everything's running uncompressed, everything like is just dynamic, and the way it scales, like it would be so easy to put this game on on PC. Like a native PC version is going to look very, very nice.
Do you know what system this is going to get compared on to the Switch version?
Which one?
The Steam Deck.
That, I mean, like, yeah, but then the sad
That'll
thing
probably
is, like,
happen before it even releases officially on PC, because somebody's going to make it run on Unreal Engine 4 on the Steam Deck the second they get it.
I wonder, just because, like, it'll be that thing of, like, yes, it could technically happen, but I wonder if just because, like I said, there's going to be that, like, it is going to be an Epic Store exclusive.
Well, no. Steam Deck can run Windows, so it can run the Epic Store.
That's true. That's true. Yeah. So, like, and they've not really been very shy about that, but, like, I think
I was going to correct him, but I decided not to. So I'm sorry, Spencer.
I'm a fake fan, yes, not Frank Miller. Frank Miller wishes he could do that. But no, the funny thing about it is, like, I think Steam Deck is more bully to partner with Microsoft and show that they work with Game Pass than Epic Game Store. Like, yeah, it'll work, but you won't see it advertised. Like, you see Microsoft advertising, and even PlayStation. Like, PlayStation's like, holy crap, look at Horizon on the Steam Deck. Like, you're not going to see anyone advertising in a meaningful sense. Right.
And we're going to be able to finally compare portable Catherine Classic to portable Catherine
on Vita.
Full body. My goodness. And the Vita version. Yeah, you're going to put them all across and next to each other and say, oh, look, the Steam Deck's incrementally better.
Dumb thing that PC port's never happened. Where is the full body PC port?
Let me ask you this next question then. SMT5, will it get re-released on the Switch before or after it gets ported?
Oh, you mean like, will there be an extended edition or something?
Yes.
No. There will not, like, unless it sells incredibly well and something crazy happens. I forgot one of the reasons I brought up Nocturne is this game's going to outsell. Like, this is going to be the best-selling SMT game the second it comes out. Like, the second it's released, like, its pre-orders have pretty much already destroyed everything else in the previous series. But that being said, though, so, like, I just don't see them doing an expanded edition for this, just because the team, like, took so long to really make this kind of come together. And, like, I don't think it would make as much sense to do this, even, like, in a situation like Persona 5 Royal. Persona 5 Royal didn't even really make sense to be an expanded re-release. But I will say, if there was to be an expanded re-release, it would be that PC and console version. Like, they could just, like, make it another version they sell on Switch, but that would not be stuck on Nintendo. That would then just be whatever the PC version is or whatever the console version is.
So whenever I think of Dead Rising, though, I just want to really quickly jump in. I have had to take a second to pull this up. I think of this movie before I think of Dawn of the Dead.
Not the actual Dead Rising movie.
Yeah, well, there's that too, and it's got what's his name, Rob Riggle in it, which I have watched. They're not horrible movies. I just wouldn't consider them anything better than a B-rated sci-fi scary movie type experience. But Rob Riggle, like almost perfectly embodies what an arrogant Frank West would look like in real life.
Very, very true.
He's covered wars, you know. I would love to see DLC from other Atlas games make its way into SMT5 after release day.
No way.
Not specifically. I don't want to. As much as everybody's like, "Oh, Persona 5." I'm like, no, I don't want that in SMT5. You want the guy from Vanquish.
You want the guy from Vanquish to make an appearance.
No, I want Venom in there. No, I'm just kidding. We don't need Marvel and SMT crossovers unless it's going to be a fighting game. I'll take Marvel versus SMT. That'd be fine.
What a nightmare fuel of a game that would be. Oh my god.
But because what is it? Marvel versus Capcom usually.
It's Tatsunoko versus SMT. That'll be it.
Yeah. it'll be Persona 4 Arena without the heart. No. When do you think we'll see our first spin-off game for SMT5?
Oh God, way too soon to tell. It's again, like, it's such a different ecosystem for them. Of like, you have to like put this into context. Like, there's not been a financially successful SMT game in over a decade, probably. Like, I'm sure they
sold 4 broke even.
4 literally was the last game they put out before they went bankrupt, and Sega had to buy them out.
Oh, geez.
Like, and like that was a very different situation. Of like, they were already going to be bankrupt before 4 came out. Like, I'm sure, like, and I know 4 has done well over the long run. Apocalypse did pretty good numbers. Strange Journey did not do very well. Like, remember, we're saying Nocturne HD is one of the best selling in the series at 500,000. Like, that's not a good number.
That's true. Hey, I appreciate this comment. Loving this stream. I'm glad that you guys like our incoherent banter back and forth. This is always what happens when Spencer and I get together in a podcast.
There cannot be any consistency.
I guess this would be a good quick explanation. Like, Atlas being bankrupt, essentially, wasn't it that they had release after release after release that never sold enough to make up for the development cycle?
No, it's more their parent company, Index. They were
Index. That's right. I forgot about Index.
Yeah, their parent company, Index, at the time was going bankrupt, so Index sold them off to Sega Sammy. That was back when Sega actually had money to make games like Alien Isolation. Now they just don't make games. They don't make not Yakuza games. They make when they make games like Monkey Ball Banana Mania and Yakuza and Judgment, they're making great games, but they don't, like, seriously, like, I miss the days where Sega made a lot of games. Like, unless you're a PC person, and then you got like the Total War games and everything else like that.
Spencer, this is a great question for you to answer that I have talked about plenty of times with you.
Has there ever been a Shin Megami Tensei game for Xbox? Just asking. Demon Corps 4800. I'm so glad you asked. Please tweet at Phil Spencer on Twitter.
Xbox P3.
Everyone at Xbox P3.
Well, let's do it live on stream.
There's never not a good time to do this. Just tweet at Phil Spencer with an image of the box art for it, or just say, please re-release Shin Megami Tensei 9. Shin Megami Tensei 9 is the Microsoft paid for an exclusive SMT game. Only came out in Japan. It was called Shin Megami Tensei 9, not because it's the 9th SMT game. Chris, do you know why it's actually called 9?
That's a good question, because I don't.
There are 9 different like alignments and like kind of possible endings.
So okay, that makes sense. Okay.
No, it doesn't. That's a terrible title. SMT 9 is the worst title.
What are they going to do when they actually get to the ninth game in the SMT?
Yeah, like literally, they can't call it 9, like unless they go Roman numeral.
Yeah, 9. They're going to use Roman numeral 9 just to distinguish.
I don't even know if that's like a controversial take. SMT 9 is literally like I've played. I'm one of the few Westerners who's played and beat it. Like, it's a great game. It's very weird, but like. It's a crazy game, and I legitimately believe in my gut Xbox is crazy enough to release it. If they can release Phantasy Star Online 2, they can release SMT 9. Okay, Broken Zealot, great name. I would love it if they called it SMT 8-2. That would be such a baller move.
Who else do I need to tag in this tweet, Spencer? I've got Xbox, I got Phil, I got Sega, Atlas West.
Just for it, go at Megaten, whatever the Japanese one is.
Megaten Atlas.
Because they never look at our English tweets.
No, they don't. I should also maybe I should hit translate Google search and make it in Japanese for them.
Anytime you ever, like, if you're in Atlas Japan and you see an English tweet and you're at the social media account, it's like the paper shredder meme.
SMT 8+1. Oh man. Yeah, wait, are you suggesting they get their tweets faxed over and they just shred them? Is that what I heard right?
Yeah, they get their tweets faxed over. There's a guy who faxes all their tweets in. No, I'm going to be okay. I'm like... Is it good? You can eat more. Oh, it's good. Yeah.
Spencer's commenting on his dinner. It was really delicious, apparently.
I'm not even done. I'm doing a really bad job. I'm actually, unfortunately, I'm having that like terrible moment of I have to go to the bathroom, but I'm also hungry and I have to eat and I'm doing this show. So I'm really like stuck between 3 rocks and a hard place. 3 rocks.
Well, if we do need to take an intermission, we can, because I'm imagining the stream will probably go long like the last few.
So, well, God only knows. So,
all right, I have the tweet out, Spencer. You better retweet me. Oh, I didn't tag you. That was the mistake I made.
Like I ever need to be tagged. Like,
you just have a constant Twitter search for Shin Megami Tensei 9, don't you?
I gotta say, people always talk about having your DMs open as a bad thing. My DMs are always open, and I like never get anything.
Except for when I tweet at you. There you go. Here it is. Shin Megami Tensei 9. Phil, we need an HD remaster or remake on the Xbox Series X.
There you go.
There you go. That's the tweet.
I'm not the first like, but I'm the first retweet at least.
Who is the first like?
I don't know. Let's open it up.
I'm curious now. I'm going to like my own tweet to find out, I guess. Whoops. That was the wrong button. Let's see.
The first person was Eric W. Burke.
Hey, check out his book, Vampires. He was on our podcast a while back. He made a book called Vampires, and it's not about vampires.
I hope Eric isn't even watching the show live. He just saw it and went, you know what? That's a good tweet. I got to like that tweet.
We're at 7 now, Spencer. You just boosted it hard.
Yeah, let me tell you. I really, the SMTN bump is real. It's not high, but it's real.
So, Spencer, just let me know if you need to take an intermission at some point. We can do that.
We'll just play the Price is Right music for as long as humanly possible.
Or Jeopardy. Do, do, do. Oh, we're gonna get copyright struck. I can't do this. All right. Okay. Or I'll just distract. No, I'm just kidding. We'll see. We'll see what we need to do.
Everybody, here is my rock and mineral collection. I'm going to show each of them off in explicit detail.
Maybe I'll just jump into the Q&A. I've not played the game, but Spencer has. So maybe you guys can ask me my thoughts about things while Spencer takes a break, if you need.
He's like, you should answer for me. Be like, you know what? I think Spencer really hates the story. I think it's way too woke for him. There's like not enough straight, really cis hetero men in it. Like it just, it's just too woke and broke.
Instead of wake and bake, you got woke and broke, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, geez. So, good question then. As far as the story goes, do the clock down theme. BBC will never find you. No, BBC finds me every time I air any of their footage on this podcast. I had an entire most successful
countdown would be great. Actually, countdown would be
our most successful podcast got taken down midstream because we had a BBC thing playing in the background while we were commentating.
Do you know what Countdown is? It's a very famous game show over there.
I believe I have.
It's that one with the hilariously oversized clock. Have you ever seen the IT Crowd? There's even an episode where they have it in the IT Crowd.
BBC Countdown. Let's see. Yes, I have seen this at least once.
It's got that would be one of the most stressful poofs of my life. If I heard the countdown clock was going and I was trying to beat it, it would be like I would probably give myself constipation by trying that hard. Yeah, actually, that's a great question. Chris, what do you think about the SMT5 reviews? Like, for me, I find them, like, morbidly interesting as someone who, like, well, I don't agree with any of these, but it's interesting to read them.
I have only read, like, 3, and they were the ones that were linked in our little group chat we have going, which, if you guys don't know, we have, like, a little group chat that we discuss things just to see if there's anything stupid going on. But every time I get linked...
Lots of white guys. That group chat...
Hey, that's not 100% true. Let's be honest. But anyways,
lots is not all.
As far as that goes, I've read a few, and it's usually just the ones that get memed on that I've read. I'm trying not to spoil myself as much as possible. Like I just accidentally spoiled what happens in the first hour of the game by accidentally reading something. But I'm okay spoiling tonight. I've already spoiled that part. I've already spoiled a lot of things on accident, so it is what it is at this point.
I'm actually like...
The reviews, in my opinion, have not convinced me not to buy it. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's scored pretty high. It's in, like, the high 80s. I didn't actually think it would review as highly as it has so far.
But I recommend 8 out of 10 cats does count down. Wait, what? What does it even mean?
8 out of 10 count? I don't know, man. So, the thing I wanted to say, though, is... What I find is interesting about it with the reviews and whatnot is... A couple of different things. Actually, no, because you were talking about
real quick. The one spoiler I got maybe have some serious 13 Sentinels vibes.
Ooh, I might know what that spoiler is, but that's definitely not revealed within the first hour.
It's not? Okay. That's the one I just caught recently.
You should type it in private chat, because I'll at least definitely know. Type out what it is, and I'll let you know if it is like a big deal or not. Because I can tell what you'd be thinking about, but it is definitely a bigger spoiler. But okay. No, I will say in terms of the story, and actually just spoiling stuff in general, I am definitely not Oh, that's a tough one. Popeyes or McDonald's? I'm going to say this. Do McDonald's only due to the fact that there was that rat video of the Popeyes. Even though it's probably not your Popeyes, there are not any videos I've seen of rats running around McDonald's. So just go with McDonald's, I would say.
There you go. I sent it in the private.
Yeah, you got that. Wow, was that in a review?
I don't know where I got that from. I read it somewhere.
Wow, yeah. I mean, hey, that's yep, that was it. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't say it. I mean,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have said either way for it.
I did get that spoiled to me on accident.
It's more interesting than what it sounds, though. I will at least say that. So there's
Oh,
more.
I have way more than that in the 5-sentence blurb that got sent to me. I'm so angry that got spoiled to me, but whatever.
So the thing about the spoilers for me, I'm like one of the most rigid people about spoilers. I didn't even want to know that Harry. Well, I'm about to spoil something. I didn't even want to know that there was a guy in Eternals. I didn't want to know there was a sex scene in Eternals. Like, I'm so anal about any spoilers for.
Hold up. Why did you use your word anal after?
I mean, when I think,
are you spoiling the kind of scene this is?
Yo, if that was, I mean, we saw thrusting. We're naked. It could have been anal.
Oh my gosh! All right.
They were not married yet. They were not married at the time, so it would have probably been more. Okay, so yeah, sodomy and Eternals. That's why the reviews are so low. Not a lot of sodomy fans out there, man. So the thing, Twist 1441 really making me not want to finish my dinner with that sentence. You and Lean leaked something kind of. What would I have leaked?
Me and who? Or you and who?
Me and Lean.
Oh, Leanne. You said Lean.
Leanne.
You said Lean.
Sorry,
you and Lean.
Leaning over, man. Try. Oh yeah, like we did a spoiler by like saying a character is not who you think they are, but it's also like you know nothing about the characters going in, so it's like everyone's not who you think they are. So no, I know what you mean by that, but yeah, I try to always be as non-specific as possible for everybody, especially for a game that's not out yet. But yeah, like in terms of spoilers, like I think everyone is like me in my brain and don't want to know as much as possible if it actually matters. But I'm also not one of those people who are like, I still think, I'm not one of those people who are like, you have to not spoil Aerith's death. I'm like, oh, come on, dude.
It's like, been what, 20-something years now?
Exactly.
Hey, this is a question I saw earlier and I forgot to ask it because I know in Nocturne you get to name quite a few characters.
So in this one, you can only name yourself, and I can confirm Nahabino's canon name is indeed Spencer Presley.
He paid Atlas big bucks for that one, just like how he got followed on Twitter. No, I'm just kidding.
I want you to know, every week I go back and I look and I go, are they still? Oh. And just to show how narcissistic I am, because I did pin it on my fridge.
You printed it out, didn't you?
I made copies. Oh no, not the green screen again. You can barely tell.
Yeah, they follow you. Yep.
So,
I would. To be fair, I would have done the same thing. Spoilers: Hamlet does not end well. Yep.
No.
Much. Okay. It says, are you guys getting SMT5 and any of the DLC interest you or worth buying to you? Yes, I'm getting it. I'm actually getting 2 copies on accident, but I'm not canceling my special edition because I have one coming. Second thing, no, I don't buy day 1 DLC. So maybe like a year down the road, I'll buy the day 1 DLC.
The day 356 DLC.
It's 365, Mr. Dyslexic over here.
Oh my god. I've literally been at this computer for over 9 hours today. I work here. This is my... I made a video on my only lunch break talking about SMT. Like this, I can't leave this like realm for some reason. That should be like tattooed on like... No, that should be on my gravestone. Not like that I got followed by Atlas West. That imagine being this excited being followed by a corporate entity. It's like mom, it's like, how'd you meet your wife? I met her at a bar and I told her the guy at Arby's is me. Like the guy who does the Arby's social media really blew her mind. So yeah, I'm so really surprised though. Like I know you're not like crazy about DLC, but like so even the Demi Fiend like boss rush thing doesn't do anything for you.
So I make it a point to like play through the game with no DLC usually first when I play games.
How does it make you feel knowing that the Demi-Fiend DLC
is not playable? You can't recruit him.
No, well, no. I was gonna say because it actually is kind of similar to Nocturne, where you have to find all of the fiends in the open world. So if you played it with it installed, there will be moments where you're like, "Hey, your was it Candelabra? Wait, is it? No, it's Menorah. It'll be like your Menorah is like reacting, and there's going to be a fiend boss fight. Do you want to do it here?" So it's kind of interesting of like
how they implemented it.
Yeah, I'll be curious of like I wonder if it'll feel natural during a first playthrough or if it'll feel weird going back because like I'm gonna buy all the DLC just so I can actually talk about it, even though most of it I would say don't buy it. Actually, no, that's not true. The only one.
Well, I take it back. I do have some free eShop money, so maybe.
Yeah, the gold coins.
No. I got some gift cards sent my way, so maybe because it would be free to me, I would consider buying it.
Mm-hmm. Also, let's be honest. You know you want to look at that Cleopatra model.
I already previewed. I did the day one DLC thing where I said don't buy day one DLC. I'm not going to. So I'll buy it on day two at the earliest.
I want you to know I took a picture of being literally the first person who bought all of the Persona 5 Royal DLC. Literally, I had a ping for when it was on the server. I was the first person who bought all of the DLC in the $60 bundle for the $60 game. And I immediately gave it a 1-star review. And I just I tweeted it out and it just said, "Don't be like me."
Hey, should we also talk about how Gnarly follows us as well?
I get hyped when Gnarly follows me. Being followed by someone is cool. I will say this: I will never be able to relate to someone who is if you were like when I see people.
Are you about to expose that Gnarly was your fan before he became big?
No, not even that. Like when I see people like whether it be like David or Kuro or even like King Narukami, when I see like the people do the like, "Oh my god, this guy follows me," I'm like, dude, like I have like maybe 3
I always do it ironically. When somebody I know follows me. I'm like, look, this guy followed me.
Like,
look, our account's followed by Chris Raygun. All right, that was the only time I felt that way. I'll be honest.
But like, so what's funny though for me is like I strategically actually don't follow a lot of people on the SMTN account just because I try not to have a cluttered feed. There are probably people I should not follow. But what's funny is I will follow anyone who asks me. Like, if you care about following people, like, hey, could you follow me? Like, I don't care. Hey, sure, whatever. Like, funnily enough, that's actually how I met King Narukami. He just followed me one day and DM'd me and was like, "Hey, man, you should be following me." And I was like, I guess. I mean, I'm all right. I mean, and that was just
his Twitter handle should be Chad Narukami. Thank you very much.
But like, so one of the funny things is like, it's like I don't really care. Like, I would follow pretty much anybody on Twitter, but I also have no interest in following any extra people on Twitter just because I use that Twitter account very much of like, it's like a dumping ground for my personal garbage and then also like news and stuff. Like I don't get updates from people on Twitter mostly. But Twitter is a great tool for like getting people on the show, meeting new people that way. It's just not one of those things of like, I'm not one of the, like, I will never be like a, hey, follow for follow. Like I just don't really care about like that stuff.
I always ignore people that say follow for follow because I just get annoyed by those tweets. I'm like, I am not follow for follow material. Okay. My account will not get you more followers if I follow you. I mean, maybe if somebody really loves shrimp, that might work. But
oh my god, did you see that picture of a shrimp literally frying rice? I hope you saw that.
Yeah. I think, did you send that or somebody sent that to me?
I'm sure I saw that and I was like, there's no way I'm going to be the first one who's going to send you that. But I saw that and I was like, it's literally Chris. He's frying shrimp.
Oh man, I am worried that like if this account ever blows up, like the fact that we picked shrimp as our mascot might be a mistake.
No way. What's the worst that can happen there?
I don't know. There was a weird Twitter trending thing that was like big shrimpin', and I was like, what is this? I'm nervous. Shrimpin'. I was like, what is this?
No, yeah. So like going back to the thing though, I just find it always really funny, and also because I don't enjoy. Not that I don't enjoy. I'm
gonna do that right now. It's gonna say big shrimpin' on my next tweet.
I just don't ever like look at like even ones of like people who I'm very close with and friends with and talk to. on a very regular basis. It's kind of like I don't watch your stuff every day, dude. I can barely put my stuff up every day. I don't got time to like. So like it'd be one of those things of like what's really funny is like when my SMT5 video goes up, I'm sure with everyone else's on Friday when our embargo hits. You think I'm gonna watch all my friends' videos after I've just been lit? Like I've even told I even told Gnarly this recently. I was like, dude, I'm taking an RPG break after this. I'm not I played so many RPGs this year that I'm like, I can't wait to just jump into like Far Cry or Call of Duty.
Are you gonna play Halo with Will and I or what?
If I can get an Xbox, it'll be my Halo machine. Also, I'll play a absolute crap ton of Forza Horizon because that game looks.
Okay, believe it or not, do you know what the best-selling Xbox One game was?
Like ever or like last month?
No, of all the entire Xbox One generation.
Yeah,
I was shocked.
It's got to be either Minecraft or PUBG, I'm sure.
No, because most people that had Minecraft already had it.
Is it first party?
It is a first-party game, and it's not Halo.
I don't know then.
It was Forza Horizon 4.
Well, okay, then that would have been recent then. I was thinking like of an all-time.
No. Of all time, the best-selling Xbox One game was Forza Horizon 4.
See,
10
then
million copies.
I can't. Yeah, well, that's literally also baking in PC and Windows Game Store and
just Xbox One. It was the best-selling Xbox One.
And also that'll be Game Pass numbers as well.
No, that's why I think that's actually why Halo sales tanked towards the end because everybody had it on Game Pass.
I'll look this up. Now you meant Forza Horizon, right?
I'm pretty sure it was Forza Horizon 4.
One that just came out, 10 million.
No, Forza Horizon 5 just came out.
Oh my god, you're right. That was 5. Oh my god. Wait, so it is 4. 4 is the one you meant. 5 is the one that just came out.
Yes, you said you kept saying it just came out. I was like, what are you talking about?
Sorry, I thought 5 was 4. I could believe 4 has sold 10 million copies. That's true. Here, let's take a look here. 4 million.
I'm sad that we're not getting. I'm sad that the Big Shrimping tweet is not getting nearly as many likes. No, I'm just kidding. I knew that wasn't going to get it.
I can definitely understand how 4. I thought 4 was 5. It all bleeds together. No, but I mean, honestly, I bet 5 will then outsell 4 just because now it's going to be on even more systems. There's more hype and everything. Everyone loves it. Actually, one of the funniest things about it is SMT5 had the exact same review embargo time as Forza 5. And if you want to talk about their memes from SMT5 reviews, look at the review on IGN with all of the dislikes and all of the comments. It's not even 1/10 of the size of the comments for Forza Horizon 5's review.
I believe you. Hey, anybody that wants to find the Shin Megami Tensei 9 tweet, I linked it. There you go. That way we get some more likes.
I love in the comments here. I'm playing Subnautica after 5 SMT5. Chris, what's your plan? Like, I'm imagining if you're lucky, you'll beat 5 by the time Halo comes out. I can't imagine there will be.
Oh God, no, that ain't gonna happen. Okay. I won't have enough time. Right now, if anybody wants to know what my game list looks like, it's insane. I'm playing the original Metroid on the NES every Monday. It's my Metroid Mondays thing I've been doing. And then we're playing Fable 2 with Will on Friday. So that takes away 2 of the days that I could be playing SMT5. Unless I totally just let Will play Fable and I just pretend like I'm there.
the real co-op experience.
Yes, exactly. No.
Oh my God, hold on. Does that Fable XBLA game still work? Do you remember how there was a XBLA game for Fable 2 if you pre-ordered it?
I don't think so.
It was like a mini game collection.
There was Fable Heroes that exists still.
No, that was this was specifically. I remember it was like a pre-order bonus game.
Yeah, that's a thing. I don't remember if that's even possible to keep playing. There was also Fable Legends that got canceled, but I digress. Speaking of Fable Legends, what would your ideal SMT5 spinoff game be if they make one?
It's tough because I'm still not at the story for it. So right now I literally just couldn't really think of one just because the way that this series has always ended, there's always been such a definitive ending. Like even with something like Apocalypse basically rewrites a
The ending of
alternative
4,
ending
right?
for 4. Yeah, so it's like it's so hard to really like say in that case.
The ending where Joker comes in from the 5th dimension, and now we have the crossover finally we've always wanted between Persona and SMT, finally restoring the heart.
Okay, I'll say this as my cynical answer: a Persona 5
arena with Shin Megami Tensei characters.
No, Persona 5. And no, wait, not Persona. Wow, I actually did. That was an actual.
You did the review problem.
Yep, there you go. A SMT5 spinoff. It's a battle royale.
Battle royale, not a arena fighter. Battle royale.
Battle royale. Mobile only.
Isn't there already a Persona 5 mobile game that's like out in Asian markets where you can like?
It was teased and hilariously has still never been announced. So knowing the way that here we go, I got it because I know everyone's dying. Fable 2 pub games.
Yeah, that was a thing. You're right. That was a thing. I forgot about that.
Totally forgot about this. So yes, that is a Chinese game. I think made by NetEase. It's one of those like giant billion-dollar conglomerates, but yeah, that's been announced and basically in terms of everyone's pretty much like leaked it and stuff. But I don't think if it's weird because like there's always a chance like maybe they just didn't announce because after it got leaked, no one cared. But it's hard to say.
All right, so Spencer, now is the opportune time. Do you need to take a break?
I am dying to go to the bathroom, but I wasn't sure if you wanted to, how much more you had left in you.
I'm going to let you go, and people can ask me questions. Anything you want for the next however long until Spencer gets back. Okay.
All right, everyone. Bombard with questions.
All right. I am here. What do y'all want to know? Let's see here. Live Q&A. I might even delete this segment and release it separately. So, break time. Live Q&A. What do you guys want to know? Oh, do you guys still want to know what game I've been playing recently? Offline, not because I live stream most of the gameplay I do nowadays. I am currently playing through Metroid Samus Returns on the 3DS, Cyberpunk 2077 on the PS4, Breath of the Wild I just finally booted up again on my Wii U, and Dead Rising because I'm always playing Dead Rising. Always playing Dead Rising. That is always on at least one gameplay. But I am planning to boot up. No. The answer is no. That game will never come back. Do you think SMT5 is remotely close to P5 in sales? No. And it probably won't be. PlayStation, I think, has a much better brand recognition with RPGs like Persona than Nintendo has brand recognition with Shin Megami Tensei. But it will be the best-selling Shin Megami Tensei game ever, most likely. Continuing on. I'm also playing a Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze on the Wii U. I've got several Wii U games I'm playing. I'm also playing it on the Switch because I'm an idiot. I have 2 versions of Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which, by the way, Donkey Kong Country, probably my favorite platformer of all time. Let's see. Are you on Patreon by chance? I don't have a Patreon, no. We don't do anything like that. We just rely on advertising monetization on YouTube. We may launch a Patreon at some point in the future, but I don't think I do enough what I would consider creative content to justify having a Patreon. So if you guys are interested, let me know, but I had no intention of doing that. Let's see here. Probably better than Persona 3 and 4 Vanilla. Let's see. How many sales do we have on Persona 4 and Persona 3? Persona 3. Are you talking Persona 3 FES or Persona 3 Vanilla? Because I have Persona 3 Vanilla, and I know that didn't sell very well. Sales. Let's see. That's Japan. Persona Series physical game sale. Let's see here. Persona 1 just barely broke 400,000 sales. Persona 2 Innocent Sin 275,000. Persona 2 EP around 200,000. Persona 3 200-something thousand. Okay, yeah, I mean it probably will. Let's see, remake sales. So Persona 5 Royal. Persona 4 Golden did pretty decent for a remake. Let's see. Do you think we'll get any music? All right, let's see here. Will SMT5 find a heart? Listen, the heart is the player. It's the people we met along the way here. All right. SMT5 1.8 million, calling it now. I will clamp. I mean, it's on the Switch. It's got the Switch effect. The Switch always sells games, especially exclusive games. So most likely, this game will sell well. Will it be the best selling above Persona 5? Probably not. Let's see. Do you think we'll get any music DLC down the line? We want to hear some of Shoji Meguro tracks from Nocturne. I don't know. I know you can get the Nocturne game soundtrack. Like when I bought Nocturne forever ago, it had the soundtrack in it. So most likely you'll be able to get soundtracks separately from the game. But in-game, I don't know. I don't have a good guess on that. P3 Fest and P4 Vanilla. Yeah, Golden sold really well, but it sold really well on a system that didn't sell well, the Vita. So it's a good question. I know if you add Steam sales, it sold really well. But if you just stick to just Vita physical sales, I mean, it was probably the best-selling game on the Vita third party. Let's see here. How many DLC are they planning for Shin Megami Tensei 5? I think it's just the day one DLC. They don't have any plans for anything else yet. There's a chance they bring more. It is Sega. Sega wants to make money. Let's see here. Thanks to you and Spencer, I'm ordering a copy of SMT9. Good for you. All right, let's see here. How many copies did P5R sell? Let's find out. P5R. I think that was quite a bit. Let me see. Oh, no, actually, I take it back. I think Persona 5 Royal did not sell as well as P5 Vanilla. Persona 5 Royal sales 1.8 million copies. And it says Persona 5 Strikers is 1.3 million. So they both did well for an Atlas game. I like, hot take, I like the Ryota Kazuka SMT tracks more than, I like the Ryoka Kazuka SMT tracks, I'm assuming more than I do Meguro's. But you like Meguro, though. Well, that's fair. I mean, everybody has different taste. I mean, when you look at Halo, I like the original Bungie games with Marty O'Donnell's tracks, and I can never remember the other guy's name. But I also like the new Halo games music, even though I think it's more corporatized and a lot more production, like ensemble. But Marty's stuff just has that classic, authentic Halo take. So I don't know. Like, it's fair to like multiple artists, even in the same series or the spin-off series in regards to Persona versus SMT. Always an option. All right, let's see here. I think we're going to get Nocturne HD on phones. You think so? I don't think so, unless Sega is really pushing it. I mean, Final Fantasy is not with Sega, and it has proven to be successful on phones, but I just don't see Nocturne HD coming to phones. I don't see it. Maybe in Asia, but the US, I mean, people aren't playing these games on phones in the US. Like, that's the whole reason why SMT failed on iOS originally, and then Atlas never bothered to update it 64-bit. Favorite game of all time. I was just talking to Will about this recently. Where I'm at on that is I've got like a list that's a rolling list. It changes recent played bias that makes an impact. But my favorite Persona game in the series is Persona 4 Golden. My favorite Shin Megami Tensei game is probably like Shin Megami Tensei 4, not Apocalypse, the original one. Let me see. My favorite, like, Dead Rising's in there. The original Fire Emblem on the Game Boy Advance is in there. Definitely some combination of Metroid Dread and Metroid Fusion. I liked both of those games a lot. But Zero Mission takes the cake in Metroid series, so probably Zero Mission is above all of those. Let me see. Mass Effect. Mass Effect 2 specifically is in that list somewhere. And also, how many SMT games have I played? Ooh. I've played 4 SMT games, technically speaking. Yeah, because I played the original 2 just to get a feel for them, and I did not complete them at all. And then SMT 4 is my most recently played one, and Nocturne a long time ago. I can't remember if I finished Nocturne back in the day or not, but I'm certainly not going back to it on the HD re-release when SMT 5 is coming out. Anyway, Spencer, people ask me lots of questions, So whenever you're ready to join back in, give me a thumbs up.
I'm all ready, man. I'm all
good.
All
right, cool. Whoops. Add to stream. There you go. I almost hit remove and removed you entirely.
You know what? That would have been a good out. Goodbye, everybody.
So they want to know Zelda games. Spencer, I'll answer first, but if you want to jump in, if you love a Zelda game specifically, let me know. My favorite Zelda game is Majora's Mask, the original, but not the original on the N64. The port to the GameCube version on the Legend of Zelda Anniversary 25 collection that came with my GameCube.
That is what actually got me to get a GameCube, is when they made that bundle where it came with those 4 games in the Nintendo Power Collection. So yeah, Zelda, unfortunately, tripped over a landmine. So I started actually the series. I have very distinct memories of it. I didn't play Ocarina of Time first. The first one I ever played specifically at a Walmart demo kiosk, Majora's Mask.
I love that game.
I didn't actually get to own it until that GameCube collection. So that GameCube collection was my first case of owning them, because I never owned a 64 because it has like 6 games. And basically after getting into it really big with the... Well, actually, that's not true. I probably played Link's Awakening and stuff around launch, but I played so many like Game Boy games out of sequence. Like I played more Game Boy games when I had a GBA than when I actually had a GBC.
I agree with you on there. A lot of times I ended up playing them on the Game Boy Advance because it had the backlit screen on the SP. Mm-hmm. There was plenty of games, like for example, Link's Awakening. I had that from the day it launched. My parents, for some reason, bought that for me, not even realizing if I liked Zelda or not. And I ended up playing through it on my SP.
So yeah, but like for me, it's one of my favorite series of all time. Like I have my Amiibo shelf, and then I have the Zelda Amiibo shelf. So I have every Zelda Amiibo. I have the Breath of the Wild giant Master Edition statue, Age of Calamity, legitimately one of my favorite Warriors games of all time. I really got to get back to that DLC. So many good things. And actually, it reminded me, because this is coming out this month. Like I was just thinking to myself today, of like, oh hey, I think I'm done buying new games this year in terms of new ones. And I forgot there's something that comes out the same day as SMT, and it is published by Nintendo, and it's Zelda related. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Zelda related? Is it the little mini handheld finally coming out?
Game & Watch.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And whoa, I don't know what that noise was. And the thing about the Game & Watch that I was like, I've got to get this. Like, I had no interest at all in the Mario one, because that was literally came with
I
Mario
could care less
1,
about that one. Yeah,
Mario 2, but like, what about?
It's been in and out of my cart like 5 times. Those Game Watch.
Yeah, like they cannot sell these things. Like, hopefully the Zelda one is also not super highly sought after. But the thing that like makes me really, really excited about this one is that it comes with Zelda 1, Zelda 2, and Link's Awakening in color. And I'm like, that is such a great little like thing of just having like to the side, like while I'm working, of like pick it up, pick it down, have a clock, have the mini games, and just like it's just one of those things of like, that's such a cool little anniversary gift thing. And especially because it is the 35th anniversary of Zelda, and we're not getting a lot of products. Like it's Skyward Sword.
I do wish it would have included Link to the Past, though. There's no reason why it couldn't.
Buttons.
No, they could have put the buttons on there. I mean, I know it wouldn't be in line with the Game & Watch, but
then it adds more cost, though. That's the thing. Is like as soon
but
as
it is
you
Link's.
say that, then...
Did you know that the color version of Link's Awakening did come out originally?
Oh yeah. The color version was
there was, because I actually got the non-color version. That's the one I have.
That's the funny thing. I've never played the non-color one. I will say this because the Nintendo's actually been doing a lot of cool like lead-up stuff for it. I don't actually know. I think it actually might be the black and white version included on this. Let me look at the screenshots for this. It is the black and white version. It's not the color version. I'm not sure if it has both, but one of the cool things I know that they do have about this is the Zelda 1 and Zelda 2 versions have the American one and the Japanese ones. So they have the Famicom CD editions.
Oh, okay. You know, it's not a real handheld that celebrates Zelda if they don't put the CDI games on there.
That's true.
I digress. Here's an interesting question. I have some of the answer. Maybe you can provide the rest of it. It says, why does Atlas not release their games on the Xbox One? That's actually not true. Arena, I think, is on the Xbox One, Spencer, correct? Mm-hmm. Original Arena, not Ultimax.
And backwards compatibility.
And Catherine.
Backwards compatibility in 4K.
and it's actually the best version of Classic Catherine in my opinion. But
and sure, it is higher. It has higher resolution than the PC version.
Hey, are you running like a video in the background, Spencer? You're bugging out hard right now.
Really? No.
At least on my end. Maybe not for everybody else.
Here, let me turn off and on again, see if that helps.
Yeah, it might be me. It might be my end. Anyways, if Microsoft is going to buy Sega, no, here's the thing. Japan basically will not allow the sales of any Japanese companies to an American company, Microsoft included. They had a shot at it back when Sega was floundering in the early 2000s, and they didn't take it. So the likelihood that anybody will ever be able to purchase, like Microsoft purchasing a Japanese company, is like very low.
Well, they want to do it.
They have to get approval.
They've said they want to. I think it's just a matter of who instead of if. The other thing, though, with Microsoft is
they have a great partnership with Sega.
Yeah, like there's no reason they should buy each other. Like there was that thing recently about them working together, making cloud games on Microsoft Azure. But like the thing is, like they already have such a good working relationship. And yes, while Atlas doesn't really do Xbox games, that's just because Xbox doesn't have a huge RPG market. And like their titles, like it just doesn't make financial sense for them to make an original Xbox build until Xbox is paying them to do that. Like they're not gonna make money unless there's a deal already there. That's why Xbox was so aggressive with Yakuza 7 and the other games coming to Game Pass before, because that was the thing of like, hey, if you put this on here, we will pay you guaranteed money on top of everything else.
I thought for a second there somebody said no SMT 9 part. I was like, what, did Phil actually respond and say no?
If Phil Spencer ever says the word, like, I can't actually imagine Phil Spencer, like, I mean, I can, because it's going to happen one day, but, like, you know him and his, like T-shirt blazer combo. He's going to have the thing where he's like, Shin Megami Tensei.
And then it'd be cut off at the, you won't know.
Is coming to Game Pass.
Yeah. I mean, I will say this. I was surprised to see that KOTOR is going exclusively. Like, everything that's happening this generation is, like, backwards from what I would expect. The fact that KOTOR is coming exclusively to the PS4 first makes no sense to me. The fact that, you're not getting a PC port of a Shin Megami Tensei game day one doesn't make sense to me, especially with Epic's engine on it.
Only because of the Nintendo money, though.
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, but still. The fact that you're getting... like Sega games day one on an Xbox console, like the Yakuza games, like that's insane, right?
Yeah, same thing with Lost Judgment. Lost Judgment was there, and also the Judgment remaster.
And now you're getting Final Fantasy VII's weird offshoot HD remake thingerbobber on the PlayStation's going exclusive after it being across both systems in the last generation. I'm 90% sure.
Final Fantasy VII Remake is such a crazy. I would love to have any behind the scenes knowledge about that, just because like that exclusive contract got renewed. I've never heard of a console exclusive getting its exclusivity extended. That's like so crazy to me. But it's because it sold so well. Like it's insane. I actually, to be fair, Royal technically did as well. Like P5 was exclusive as a contract. And then they just made Royal, like that's a separate kind of thing. But like literally with Final Fantasy, like it should have and could have probably been on PC at least for Final Fantasy VII Remake. But Sony said, "How about you just give us one piece of DLC, put it on PS5, and make that exclusive?"
Yeah, it's so weird. I am curious if this will ever happen though, because that makes more sense to me.
It makes sense, but it would have too much of a negative backlash. Like the backlash to that would be insane, and there's no actual reason to buy them. They already have such a strong relationship with exclusives like Forsaken, Final Fantasy 16, all these other titles and stuff. Like there's no reason for them to buy each other. It would just make people needlessly mad.
I think the next likely acquisition that will happen is a Microsoft acquisition, because Microsoft has, Xbox has Microsoft money, and it's insane. It's huge. It's like 200. It's like, I think it's like 200 billion or something ridiculous. It's just astronomically high, the amount of money that Microsoft has to work with to buy Xbox exclusive third party to first party.
I will say this: I don't think we're ever getting a Bethesda for a while. Bethesda.
They've already said it's likely going to be another Bethesda size next acquisition.
I don't see one being as big of a deal as Bethesda, at least for a while.
2K, that's been rumored for a while. Not 2K. Take Two. Sorry, GTA coming.
That is literally the same one, but no, like
no. Take Two and 2K are different.
No, literally, Take Two is owned by. Oh my god, 2K is owned by Take Two.
Right, but the impact is different.
No. If you buy Take Two, you get 2K.
Right, but if you buy 2K, you don't necessarily get Take Two.
But then all you're getting at that point is BioShock, Mafia.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. The impact would be different. If Microsoft's like, we're buying 2K, like people are going to care a lot less than if you say you're buying Take Two.
Let me show you how exciting of a deal this one's going to be. Here's my BioShock not made by Ken Levine.
There is supposedly another BioShock actually coming at some point.
Yeah, that's by Cloud9 or Cloud Emporium Games or something.
Yeah.
I do not envy that position. I would be very nervous making a BioShock and not being Ken Levine.
Well, imagine if it'd be the same thing as if Atlas went defunct and then somebody bought the license to SMT and produced an SMT game.
See, that I have more faith in because there are so many people who make clones of SMT games that I'm like, yeah, that's okay. People can make those games.
Yeah, but it wouldn't have the same heart as...
That's true.
And the reason why SMT doesn't have a heart is because Persona 5 stole it, obviously. Duh. Phantom Thieves already got it. Come on, guys. Have you guys played Blinks?
And Sora from Kingdom Hearts is going to have to free it off it again. Now, Demon Corpse brings up a great point. If you've not played Blinks, you may be a fake Xbox fan.
I might be a fake Xbox fan. I'll be honest with you. I hadn't heard of Blinks until this gen. Really? Yeah, I was that guy.
Because I read a lot of gaming magazines. Like you saw Blinks a lot on like official Xbox magazine.
I'm not this gen. I'm sorry, Xbox One gen. I keep forgetting that Xbox One has been surpassed by Xbox Series X because there's so many cross-gen games.
I think we're going to forget the word Xbox One in a few years. I think we're going to be like, "What's the Xbox One?" Oh yeah, because like no one really like we know what Xbox One is, but it's retained so little like name value, you know.
Spencer, are you gonna do a town hall lunch on launch day?
So that's basically going to be the like Wednesday pre-launch party marathon torture for my throat-a-thon. So yeah, if you have any time on Wednesday and you are awake and you're not halfway around the world, I will probably be streaming.
Hey, next year, Spencer, speaking of town halls, I think you and I should grab the PlayStation Vita's anniversary and do a Vita anniversary cast. I don't care whose channel it's going to be on.
Excuse me, sir. Next year? It's next month.
I know that, but I have plans. We'll see. Maybe I can shift those plans.
Don't worry. I can make 2 10-hour-long discussions. One in December for Japan and one in February for America. We'll even make a bonus one for the people who got it early through Taco Bell.
Somebody did message me and said, hey, do you have a 64 gigabyte SD card, Vita card? Because they're going for like $300 right now.
Yeah, yeah. I am very glad I bought mine at the, believe it or not, low price of $89.
No, that was the cheapest they ever got.
Mm-hmm. Well, that was with a employee discount. That was the best part.
Yeah, when I bought mine, it was a 32 gig. Actually, mine came with a 32 gig card when I bought mine. It was a weird bundle on eBay that somebody was like not selling piece by piece. They're like, here, you can have all of my Vita stuff for the low price of $150.
That's like still the best way to buy anything Vita wise, and especially memory cards.
Find somebody that doesn't care online with a bundle.
Yeah, or just someone will forget that there is a memory card in their system, and they're just like the amount of people I know who have 64 cards because they just left them in the system they were sold.
They're worth so much money. I mean, it's worth about the same amount of money as my GameCube component cable.
Oh my God!
Another stupid money purchase, right?
I mean, and probably getting up there now with Game Boy Player on the Game Boy Player disc.
I have my disc. It still works most of the time. I'm gonna be sad on the day it stops working.
I don't know why they had to make that like a disc related thing. That seemed like such a weird thing of like, why not just bake that into the hardware?
That disc is basically just a license that spins and tells you that, yep, this is licensed to play the Game Boy Player. Mm-hmm. It's because the GameCube only launches from the disc, right? It has a launcher thing, but in order to get into any game, the way the architecture is made and the software is written, to get into anything, you have to essentially boot up a disc and read it.
Ninjutsu, if you bought a PlayStation TV for $50 last year at a garage sale, that is a literal steal of a deal.
I got mine for $35.
And a handshake by Jim Ryan.
I got it with an 8 GB card and all of the cords and cables and a DualShock 3 for $35 online.
So you know what's funny?
No, DualShock 4. It was a DualShock 4. I'm sorry.
The PlayStation 4. TV works with PS3 controllers and PS4. I wonder if it works with the DualSense. I bet you someone has tried that.
Spencer's gonna ship me a DualSense so I can test it. No.
Oh, that is such a good controller, dude.
I've never had a DualSense, but I would consider it. All right, let's see here. It's my day off and I'm a time zone away. I may even try to participate if I can figure out Discord. For what?
No, the town hall.
Oh, the town hall. Okay. Cool.
I don't even know what or how you're doing. Even if it's 5 minutes in your day job's bathroom, you're gonna be there.
You talking about me?
Oh yeah. Everyone's got to be there.
I can get on at some point. I'm sure I can make that work. Let's see here. The Xbox gave up on the Blinks IP, and it's sad that Galgun was canceled for the Xbox One. I just hope Xbox doesn't become PlayStation and censor games, but you never know.
No, that got canceled because there was lack of an interest. Although I will say, good on Inti Creates for at least trying to do an Xbox version. Like, if you don't remember, actually, Galgun started as a 360 exclusive in Japan.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Did we talk about this before?
I don't know, man, but like they're God bless Xbox, like original Xbox and 360 Japanese exclusive games. They are always so weird.
They are, and they try to make it work with like Lost Odyssey and like what is it, Blue Dragon.
Do you remember Death Smile?
No, I don't remember that one.
It's not twin stick. It's a shooter. It's like a shmup, and it's now finally getting re-released on modern consoles. And I'll always remember Death Smiles had a really, really cool collector's edition for 360. And I was always jealous it was only on 360 back in the day.
Yeah, I was a 360 owner who became a PS3 owner after the first Red Ring happened, and then became an Xbox owner after I bought a PS4 this past gen. So I went Xbox, PS3, PS4, Xbox One.
So next gen, you're going to buy a Wii based on that logic.
I already have a Wii U. I don't need a Wii.
The authenticity, though.
I have a Switch. I do have that. I have a Wii. Actually, I probably have mostly Nintendo stuff. If you want to, no. It's pretty fair. I've got a PSP, a PS Vita, a PS3, PlayStation Classic because I'm an idiot, and a PS4 Pro.
At the very least, you at least have on the PlayStation Classic the only officially released in America digital version of Persona 1.
This is true. I also have the disc.
So I'm trying to think if there's
what was funny was I posted on Reddit, the Shin Megami Tensei Reddit. I said Megaten, whatever you want to call it, r/Megaten. I said, technically speaking, the cheapest way to purchase a legitimate copy of Persona 1 on the PS1 was to buy the PlayStation Classic, and you get 29 bonus games.
True. Yeah.
I got so many stupid upvotes for that.
I think I'll never forget the most. I wonder if you can actually search on your Reddit profile. The best.
Oh no, that Reddit profile got deleted because the r/Star Wars mod hated me.
Thank you. So I'm gonna see if I can list it. So if I go to my profile, I wonder if I can search by top. Okay, here we go. Top of all time. Here we go. 360 days ago, because we're coming up to the anniversary of it. The day the PlayStation 5 launched, I did this meme, and it's the I have nothing left except Spider-Man meme, and it was just looking at my bank account today because I bought PlayStation 5 and Spider-Man, and then just that like alone was like over like $600 or whatever.
Oh yeah.
It got 11,200 upvotes and over 300 comments, and it was the only time I've ever posted something that got awards on Reddit, and I very quickly found out that actually does not mean anything at all.
No, it doesn't mean anything.
And I was like, oh, there's money at it? Is this like a donation? No, this literally means nothing.
You have the P1 Korean version. That's KAs or Korean, right?
Mm-hmm.
Complete in box, got it for $3 a garage sale. Nice demo.
Wait, unless KA, because it is rated KA.
The original?
Yeah, remember, the original Persona 1 is rated KA for everyone.
No.
I swear to God.
Okay, I got to go grab my copy. Hold on.
Persona 1 ESRB. I'll look this up. No, this is the PS1 version. Yep, it's rated KA. Kids to adults.
What the? Are you serious?
It's rated. The first one is rated.
I did not believe you, but look at this.
Never forget it.
Where is it? Where is it?
There you go. Kids to adults.
I can't believe that is a thing.
Yep.
What the? Like, I can't.
They were wild, man. For 1996,
how on earth is this a KA game?
Look at that cover. Look at that cover. Go. That's a kid's game.
Like, what? I'm not going to be able to talk about anything else for the rest of the night knowing this now. Like, how? Like, clearly they figured it out by the time this one came out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, just the fact they're trying to summon a demon in the beginning didn't clue anybody into think.
Nope.
You know, maybe this shouldn't be a kids to adults game. Like, maybe this should be, teenager at least.
They're like, you know what? We've perfected it. We're doing good now.
I can't believe that. Like, anytime I have an excuse to break out, OG Persona 1, though, I've got to do it. I got to do it.
Yeah, rub it in my face. I traded that in, I think, for $5 in store credit.
Even got the manual for it.
So I want to ask you something else before we kind of start winding down at the 2 hour mark.
Yeah. No, you're right. Let's
have not talked about this, and so we're bad friends. What did you think of that Halo campaign trailer? The 6-minute one. Were you turned off by the outposts?
A little bit. I don't like outposts in games, especially not that. But at the same time, I'm curious what on earth they're going to do with those. Because if Infinite is as big as they're saying it is, and they're going to be mission-specific areas...
Is it weird we've only seen the opening area? I'm like, should we have not seen more than just forest?
I mean, Breath of the Wild kind of stuck to the opening area to launch that
That's
game.
True. That's very
and
true.
That was fine.
My big takeaway from that trailer was funny. Like, I can't wait to play Infinite. It looks way more. It looks like a game that was designed for co-op. Like, that whole time of looking at it, I'm like, this looks like something I would have done co-op.
I miss these.
The little instruction manual or the
official strategy guides.
Oh yeah, by what is it, like double jump guides, right?
Yeah, double jump. Yep.
The one thing I didn't like about double jump is they were tiny. Like double jump.
Yeah, they weren't very big.
Bites.
Oh, hey, why did you buy a GameCube? You bought it for Zelda, or you bought it for something else? And Zelda came with?
I bought it for the Zelda Collector's Edition disc. I didn't want any other. I didn't want any other game. Like my GameCube collection was so sad. Like the only GameCube game I've kept in my collection is Zelda Collector's Edition, Melee, and Metal Gear Solid: The Twin Snakes.
The reason I bought a GameCube was specifically for Fire Emblem Path of Radiance, because I'm like the only person I know that knew it was coming out when it came out, and I pre-ordered it. I think I'm the only person I know that knew my goodness. Fire Emblem, we're too late apparently. Fire Emblem Path of Radiance was coming out to the GameCube, and I was stoked. I was the most hyped person. I went to GameStop every day just to validate. You might have been
the only hyped person in your area.
Well, I hyped up my friend, the guy that tweeted, like the tweet first, Eric Burke. Him and I both bought it basically right day one because I had hyped him up, and he had gotten it on the Game Boy Advance based on him and I playing together. But I had my brother hyped for it, and him and a couple other of my friends, and that was probably about it. And we were the only people like scouting out GameStop trying to find that game on day one when it came out. Mm-hmm. It is like, you have to understand, like that game coming out was like for me what SMT3 did for the Shin Megami Tensei game. It took a mostly 2D, but it was a first-person perspective, but it was basically a 2D game, Shin Megami Tensei 1 and 2, for all purposes involved when you think about what technology it was running on. Like, it was still, first-person perspective, but it was a 2D game, essentially, SMT 1 and 2, right? So, like, when you go to SMT 3 and you get that full 3D open world style thing, that's what Path of Radiance did for Fire Emblem.
No,
it took the 2D sprites and made them 3D. Now, they haven't aged as well as 2D sprites have. The 2D sprites still age way better than 3D from the GameCube era, but
I got a question for you because David reminded me. Do you know what Metal Gear Solid games are actually got delisted recently?
Were they the Vita ones?
Nope.
Which ones?
Metal Gear Solid 5 on 360 and PS3 got delisted in September.
Really?
Which is funny because those games are 100% playable online. I'm sorry, they're 100% playable offline. Like the fact that Metal Gear Solid 5 runs on 360 is like a low-key miracle.
Well, the PS3 actually has less dedicated RAM to use too. It just has a different architecture that allows you to use other things. But I'm not going to get into architecture today. We could talk. I could spend a whole podcast talking about PS3 architecture.
I just thought it was so funny. Konami was just like, well, you know what? There's no online. Just kill it. Like Konami is such a funny thing of like their company of like, why do they do the things they do? Why do they some? But yeah, like the fact that Metal Gear Solid it's just the last gen version of 5, which actually is notable for one thing, because Metal Gear Solid is a franchise you can completely play on PS3. It's the only place that has 1 VR missions, 2, 3, 4. The only place with 4 and 5, and Rising.
The only Metal Gear Solid game that I currently own, because I have owned them in the past, is, you're gonna laugh, Metal Gear Survive.
I mean, I actually unironically love Metal Gear Survive, so
I like it too.
I'm happy with that.
I like it too, but it's the only one I currently own physically. And it's probably got the least amount of playability offline of any Metal Gear Solid game.
Well, what's funny is actually the single player, it feels like a game that is meant to be played co-op, but you actually can't. The single player is only single player. So yeah, that is the weird one, because it does have a lot of online mechanics. But yeah, you know what? A good sign to know when the podcast is done is when we brought up Metal Gear Survive. That's how you really know we've come full circle, everyone.
So I guess one last question for the chat. Do you guys have any further questions about SMT5? Since Spencer and I always derail. If you have any more questions about Shin Megami Tensei as a whole, I recommend you buy it. But if you want, hold off until you see your favorite reviewer review it, if they're going to review it. And actually, what I found funny is, and this is my recommendation to anybody, find a reviewer that you like and you agree with, and that person will be the best person to review any game that you want to buy.
I don't know, man. There's sometimes like of people I like personalities for, but I hate some of their opinions on things.
No, that's what I'm saying. Find somebody that actually has the same opinions as you in regards to gaming, and that person is the perfect reviewer for you.
I guess because it's so hard though. Like there's certain ones of like, oh, I like your opinion on whatever. I like your opinion on a Metal Gear, but this person then also might say Shin Megami Tensei 5 looks like a PS2 game. And I go, well, come on.
Well, I actually liked a review where somebody said Infamous on the PS3 is the best PS2 game on the PS3.
Man, you want to talk about games that don't visually hold up as well as you think you remember? It is definitely Infamous 1. Oh my god, that is
I still love the comic book scenes in that game.
Do you remember that there was an actual comic book for Infamous?
Yes. Yep.
I have all 7 volumes. Even though there were only 6, there was a special variant that came in the Infamous 2 Collector's Edition of Volume 1. It was tiny, but had a different variant cover.
I had none of them physically. I had them all digitally somehow.
Remember when PSP did comics?
Yeah, for a minute. It was like a very short period of time. Why did that fizzle out? Oh, yeah, it's a PSP. Why would you be reading comics on PSP?
It was doing everything, man. From
the Zune had comics on it too. I think Zune HD had like full-blown magazines.
Let me tell you how HD my music is on my Zune. What I will say this, man. I know this week has not been kind to Chris Pratt, but I want to go out with a shout out to Chris Pratt. For the very least, I have never laughed harder at a movie joke with no one else laughing with me than in the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 when he gets a Zune. That gets me every time.
I do love that. It's such a stupid joke, but it's so funny.
That is like such a James Gunn joke of like no child will have any, like, you might know what a Walkman is. There's no nostalgia for a Zune, and that's his only music option now.
Listen, when the Zune launched, my aunt worked for Microsoft, and so she had every Zune player known to man.
Oh, dude, there were so many limited edition Zunes. It was insane.
There was a Halo 3 edition, limited edition Zune.
Oh my god, you better still have that.
No, I never got one. I always had iPods. So I was already invested in the iTunes ecosystem.
You had the U2 iPod Touch, I bet.
No, I had there was a U2 iPod 4, I think. It was the one right before Video Gen came out. But no, my first iPod was the iPod is the 5.5 gen because it was the first one that had yeah, it was the video, iPod video, because the original 5th gen didn't have video. And then Apple just said, okay, this screen's big enough to play videos on it. And they essentially made a new version of the iPod 5th generation with the classic scroll wheel and touch wheel. And they just said this one can play video and this one can't, with no like definitive reason why they didn't update the firmware of the original 5th gen. There was no reason why mine could play it.
That was the Wild West, man. That's when like Apple had like 5 different products just for playing music. Yeah,
there was the iPod Nano, best story. And here's a good question. All right, since we actually have some questions, is the story of SMT5 good so far without spoiling it? I think you kind of answered that earlier, but go ahead.
It's like obviously it's not done yet for me. It is one of the strongest starts in the series consistently. Like it's very, very good. Like if they drop the ball, they might drop the ball, but so far it's just been up.
Is it better than Persona 5 Royal?
Honestly, so far I'm having way more fun consistently playing this than Persona 5, 100%.
Are you somebody that enjoys social links or not?
I love social links. I think they're just other little dumb nitpicks or dumb things that I could compare to them. I'm sure like maybe like once some time gets in between, I might do like a thing of actually breaking down different aspects of it. But they, like they said, they're just so different experiences, even as RPGs, that like comparing them is just so like foreign to me.
Okay, here's a better question then. Persona 5 Royal or Persona 5?
Oh, God, Royal. I will never understand the weirdos who are like, no. I like when the game ends on a bad ending. Like, that bad ending is still in Royal, but it at least tries to, like, wipe off the dirt from its face.
Now, how about Persona 4 or Persona 4 Golden?
Oh, Golden, yeah, again. What Mongoloid is over here playing the PS2 version like, this is the superior version?
Persona 3 or Persona 3 FES?
That's you get the trick ball answer of portable.
Yeah, fair enough. But you know, some people do like the answer that exists.
I have learned that I'm not the majority. Portable is sadly not the majority.
I like portable too. That's actually the way I played through it most recently, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. Okay, so best story in a mainline SMT game. So you get to throw out everything but SMT 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I think Apocalypse technically counts.
I will also include Strange Journey, but I'm not sure if I would give it to Strange Journey.
Original 4 for me.
Oh, that's really tough. Yeah, that's really tough because I really like Apocalypse for how weird it gets. I might go Apocalypse tied really closely. Oh, we're talking mainly.
Well, Apocalypse is more linear, right? I haven't played Apocalypse yet.
It's not even that it's actually more linear. It's more of a thing of I actually just really, really like Apocalypse because it goes a lot weird. It's got a way larger cast. Okay. Like it's got a lot more characters to play around with. So that's what I really liked about Apocalypse.
So Apocalypse is it? That's when you pick? Mm. Does that include 5 or are you not including 5 because it's not done
Not
yet?
Including 5, yeah.
Okay.
Hey, who knows? Those last 30 hours might just be like an entire dumped truck just falling on me.
All right, minimap on or off? I know you can turn it off.
I leave it on because there's a lot of stuff to look for on the map, but I mean, honestly, like the HUD never feels as cluttered as it looks. And I feel like in screenshots it looks really cluttered. It's never in execution, but it's nice you can turn it off.
Classic or full body?
Oh, full body again.
Really?
I mean,
you pick full body over classic?
Full body over for a couple of different reasons. It's not a.
Yeah, I will defend classic over full body.
Classic has a lot of things like it's missing SMT music for no reason. Like that's really dumb. It's got better pacing than full body, but I think full body has so many quality of life things, and the fact that it's on the Vita, it gets that bump. But it's on the Vita.
It's on the Vita.
I won't get like I wouldn't make fun of you for playing Catherine Classic. I will make fun of you for playing vanilla Persona 3. Like that, like
I own it though. I do have vanilla Persona 3.
Boy, what an ugly cover. That North American.
Should I go grab it?
Like no, it's that bad. It's not even worth getting up for.
Well, I like the box though that came in.
Now here's the last important question. A good box, but it is literally just a bunch of JPEG cutouts. Is Farming Simulator 16 good on Vita? No, I don't own it. That means it's not good.
It's not good. It's constantly on sale. At least it was until Vita stopped having sales. Mm-hmm. I will defend Catherine Classic only because I feel like the inserted character just takes away from the original story.
Very forced. It's so
forced.
It's not natural. It's everything.
It's more forced than Marie and Golden.
Oh, I was gonna say it's like George Lucas special editions forced. It's very seriously, like Marie I can give a pass to.
Well, she makes the story make a little more sense. I will give that.
But like Rin literally is just like, dude, like what are you doing here? Like I like how you said,
dude, what are you doing?
What are you doing here? Like it's so there's so many like from the execution to adding pink minions, like that game has got a lot going for it in not a good way. But I love Full Body.
I like the additional endings for the original 2 Catherines in Full Body.
True. I will
like
say
that.
though, man, I hate that it took so long and it had a lower budget than the original because all the new animated cutscenes, with the exception of a few, feel so low budget to the original ones.
Yeah, that's a good point. The cutscenes are really something special in Catherine, and I wonder if Alice will ever do anything like Catherine because the puzzling in that is like some of the best puzzling of any game I've ever played. I love the tower climb that they do.
It's tough, yeah. It's good. It's very addictive, and there's like
it's the only game like that I know of.
They could make a really hardcore Cuber if they did that.
All right, we'll do a couple more. We'll do favorite SMT demon.
Oh, right
I
now, I
gotta go with my boy
unironically,
Jack Frost, but
I might be a hipster. I'm gonna go with a new one. I love Idun. Idun's execution in 5 is so solid. It's the Norse goddess with the golden apples. She looks like got the blue eyes, blonde hair. It's
I remember how to
really,
spell
really
that.
good design. IDUN.
I'll pull it up. Hopefully it's safe for it's SFW and I can actually
It's very safe for work.
Okay. All right, I see it. I see you. Okay, let's see here. This one?
Yeah, she's got one of my like favorite moves in the entire game.
Okay. Red Riding Hood.
I was resisting not saying that, but yeah, the inspirations are very much there.
Somebody likes Apocalypse, and then Jutsu likes Apocalypse because it's dumb, fun, goofy story.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe this will be the last we'll see. Thoughts on Trauma Center? Because I have a lot of thoughts on Trauma Center. We can talk about it.
I have a lot of thoughts on Trauma Center, but I might have a controversial one. I love those games, but I think it ended at a good point. Like that series has no reason to come back. Like
unless they did a Trauma Center collection.
Yeah, like that's it. But like there's nothing that series didn't do. They're like, oh, it's like the only way I could see it coming back, and this would never happen because Atlas would never put the money into it, is maybe if they leaned into VR. I could see them doing a Trauma Center VR, but there's no way they'd ever do that.
Trauma Center Labo Edition.
Oh my god! Yeah, with no tools. Because remember, Labo has no strap, so you have to hold it up and just do this pretty quick. Doctor, get the sponge, okay? Now pat his head down.
Apply sponge with your face. You're like that bobbing bird on desks.
Trauma Center has great nostalgia, great art, great music, but it's one of those series that, you know what? You died at the right time, Trauma Center. Keep it up.
I do wish they would have released a third Trauma Center on the 3DS, because I don't see why they didn't have one on the 3DS.
The series died by then. Yeah, it died.
I know that.
3DS ever came out, so
Atlas could have easily put one on 3DS.
I think they put too many out too quickly on Wii. Like it was one of those things of you can't like Second Opinion was a good launch title, but then it was like I know no one who played New Blood, and I especially know no one who played Trauma Team. Well, like okay, at launch, like it wasn't like people weren't talking about it by the time those released. Actually,
I remember the ads for Trauma Center where I was so confused because I was like, oh man, this is a game that has like in my mind at the time I was like, oh my gosh, this is like legit surgery. There's like naked people on operating tables. That was what I thought.
Nipples and boobs.
I was like, man, this is kind of insane for a DS game.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is there any more questions here? I think we've hit all of the questions. Spencer, do you have anything else you want to bring up?
I'm so excited to open up my copy of Call of Duty Vanguard, install all 195 gigs, and fall asleep.
You could have been doing that during this podcast.
You want my internet to download 195 gigs on this show?
I'm just kidding. But definitely, guys, if you haven't done this already, make sure that you are a subscriber of the Shin Megami Tensei Spencer Presley channel.
Man, thank God I finally updated that banner art.
Oh, you did? I didn't even notice that earlier.
It's so smooth, you know.
And Spencer has gained at least 10 subscribers since we started the podcast.
That I don't believe, but I appreciate greatly.
And your video is at 2.4K.
Yo, really?
Yeah.
Wow. That was
4 hours
literally,
ago.
I did that in my hour lunch break. I had that video queued up. I recorded it, edited it, posted it on my hour-long lunch break, and I was like, I hope someone cares about this.
Spencer Exposed did it on his lunch break. No, I'm just kidding.
I will say this, though. One of the things about it, like I constantly always think about it, I have way more fun making, like, the thumbnails than almost editing the videos. Like, recording them is fun, but I always, like, try and, like, think of, like, what's a good way to make like a thumbnail that's gonna like stand out, but like no one has done anything like that. I try to go for a very unique level of thumbnail.
Hey, was I the first to do the? Here, I'll show you what I'm talking about. 1 second. I think I was. I could be wrong.
You were the first big shrimpin'. That is true.
That's true. No, I was gonna say, was I the first person to put blue next to normal on the SMT5 thumbnail, like the way I did it?
I think so. I can't recall any other ones actually.
I was surprised when I did it. I was like, nobody else has done this.
No, but yeah, because the only time I've really associated blue with SMT5 was those Atlas Live presentations they did.
Yeah, see, I think I was the first person to put them side by side like that.
Mm-hmm. So before we go, though, are you up for making the best/worst thumbnail art for this episode?
Oh God, what am I gonna do?
Can you scroll all the way back up to the top and highlight Casey's comment one more time and just have
Oh.
it tell us?
Yes, I will grab it.
Thank you.
I'm just surprised that Casey joined in on the stream. That was cool. If you're still here, shout out to you. That was really awesome.
The dedication. Okay, and then now we can end on the classiest of notes of. I'm gonna accidentally start reading my my Nintendo Switch one more time.
Oh God!
Very closely, that everyone can get this solid. All right, I think it actually looks worse. I think it actually looks worse when I just have it like this. Like this might be.
I can't even tell what's going on in this picture, and I don't want to know.
Yoga, some flexible yoga.
Okay, got it.
Just think, someone had to save that picture, and when someone, I mean me.
Yeah, somebody had to save it. To be fair, there are no clothes removed, so that's good.
That's a lot of bulging, but yeah.
No clothes removed. Okay.
Safe for work with a big asterisk next to it. So
it says, who's going to get Casey as a guest first, me or Spencer? Probably Spencer.
I would love it if you got Casey as a guest. You snubbed me. You got Chris with the Casey snub.
That would be hilarious because you had to explain to me who Casey was to start the show.
That would be like next. That would be like next to your like cucking right there.
Yeah, pretty much.
If podcast NTR was a thing, that would be that.
Safe for work, guys. Safe for work. All right, let's see here. One more thing here. It says could have been a neat Vita game, but sold like poo. Oh,
the amount of times I've said that about other things. Remember BioShock on Vita that was supposed to be a thing?
Yeah, I was so angry that didn't happen.
You remember what kind of game it was going to be, right?
Oh yeah, I do remember. Well, I remember the reveal trailer and getting super excited, and then immediately crushing my dreams, finding out that it didn't happen.
Yeah. Well, thanks everyone for listening. I don't know how long everyone kind of put up with us, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it.
Well, we've had at least 20 viewers this whole time, which is pretty good for us.
We're increasing those numbers. The road to Halo is very long.
The most we ever had was when Chris Raygun came on, and it was insane because he didn't even share it.
Guys,
he didn't even share it.
Guys, you don't even know. Chris has been on the whole time. He's just been waiting silently.
Okay, Spencer, just for you, we'll get Chris Raygun on at the same time as you sometime in the near future.
It's gonna be one of those things of, man, I'm a big fan of yours. He's gonna be like, who? What are you?
You even own the Chris Raygun Vita game, don't you?
Oh, that's true. I do own Twin Breaker with his beautiful face on it.
All right. Well, on that note, if you are Chris Raygun in the audience, you should subscribe to Spencer just to make his day. If you're not Chris Raygun in the audience,
that would be the most surreal notification of my entire life.
If you are not Chris Raygun, you should also subscribe to Spencer's amazing channel. Let me see if I can find him one more time.
You know what? Let's call it a channel.
It is a channel. It exists.
It's a channel. I don't know if I would call it amazing. I'll at least call it a channel.
Oh dang, yeah. 4.88. You grew even faster.
Everybody, can we please make
120?
I'll say this: if I can get to 5K for the rest of the year, I will introduce myself on all podcasts and videos, not as Spencer Presley, but I will be Mr. 5000.
Or you could be Spencer Presley 5 with a Roman numeral.
Well, actually, if you look on when playing on the Switch, it is SMT 5 with a special Roman numeral character.
Fair. Good work. All right. So now that we've plugged Spencer for a solid minute here, make sure you guys subscribe. If you're not subscribed to us and you're watching this, then you probably already are subscribed to Spencer. So please consider subscribing to us. We cover Atlas games sometimes, especially when Spencer's around.
You know what, people? If you like my channel and especially my podcast, which definitely goes off the rails a lot, then you will definitely enjoy the CHRILLCAST, because at the very least, you're going to get that off-topicness much more consistently here.
Fair enough. And we put out news videos pretty often unless the audience eventually tells us not to, so we won't do that anymore. But the live cast is guaranteed will always happen every weekend, usually Saturday nights at 9:30. This is actually, I'll talk to you about this offline in a second, Spencer, but it worked out great that we did this today instead of yesterday.
Nice. Okay.
All right. So anyways, guys, as always, I am Chris with the CHRILLCAST. My co-host Will never joins us for Atlas discussion, but occasionally he does. And when he does, Spencer is usually not here, so they never end the same room at the same time.
When Will is here for Atlas discussions, we then end it by talking about Lord of the Rings. That's the tradition.
That did happen. We need to do that, Lord of the Rings cast in the future. But thank you again, Spencer. You can sign yourself off.
I miss Will. I think about Will. I long for Will, but I'm glad I got Chris.
Well,
so goodbye, everybody.
That's going to be a shorts after this is over. Anyways. I long for Will. All right. We'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.
See you guys.